I've got an itch I can't scratch, I'm missing a piece that completes a whole part of me, an open wound scar to see. Everybody come here, gather round, welcome to the freak show, the best in town. What the hell's wrong with me? I don't get along with anybody, honestly. I've been living in my own head constantly, thoughts jumbled around, think I need a new lobotomy. Wait, all these thoughts are too negative. I don't wanna get lost in the sedative. Gotta show them what I got, I'm competitive. You know I'm about to go off, I won't let them win, I'll take a stab. I wanna chase a bag, I want a way I can change all the things I lack. I gotta face the facts, I got a taste in that. Got me obsessed with the rest, I got an itch to scratch. I'll give up everything.
The venom in my brain, running from the past, wanna escape my pain. I just wanna be a better person, I deserve this, I just wanna break these chains. Always asking for greatness, true to myself, I never fake it. Seen too many once, I just so they get famous. And when I say the truth, most really can't take it. In spite of everything I've been through, I'ma make it. Fake friends, but on my downfall is toxic. Day one, started the outlaws for profit. Now all I do is write verses, no talking. All I do is put the work in, no option. This was everything I ever wanted, created a legacy off of me, just being honest. And the fake ones hate, but it's all to no avail. They wanna see me lose, but you know I never fail.
Y'all ready to see some terrorists cry this weekend? Because I know I am. Okay, let's see. Damn, we still ain't got nothing. What is going on with gaming? I noticed that Asmon ain't posting as much political stuff either. Ruh-roh. That's okay, we got Fox. It's all good. Trixton Extreme. What is this? Morning, everybody. How's it going? How's it going? Oh! Darling Winters. Okay. So you're used to be Alex, huh? You still got the A as your sticker. That's funny. That makes sense. Okay. This looks like shit. What is this? That reminds me of those old computer games that they used to have on. What the fuck is that curse shit? What the fuck is that? Oh, that's awful. It's like those old plain computer games, you know, the laptops that you would have. Whenever you'd walk into like an electronics store or maybe at Walmart back in like the 2000s. What the hell is this?
Get ready for the toughest challenge of your life. You need to take a bath. Don Della Duque will leave his mark so Neptune knows who sent you.
Duck of War 2. What the hell is this? World of Warship Legends Duck of War 2.
Yay, mother ducker. Let off some steam, Captain.
Is that Norris? No way. Oh my god. Yo, we gotta play this out of principle now. What? That Chuck Norris? It's Duck Norris, guys. Yo. Oh, go get him, World Warships.
You have the right to keep your beak shut.
Oh my god, it is. Duck punches. Oh, is that Rocky? No way, it's Rocky.
To survive the war of ducks, you gotta become the duck of war.
It's the Terminator. It's the Terminator, guys.
I'll be quiet. Engage in 6 versus 6 PvP battles and find out if you're the toughest duck in the pack. Pick the duck you relate to the most. Assign one of 2 commanders that focus on different playstyles, tamper with their skills, and waddle into battle. 3 weeks of boiling water and hot rubber. Dive into World of Warships Legends in April.
Yo, that's hilarious. That's crazy. Yo, W marketing, by the way. What is this? What is this? This is VR.
A British caver of over 50 years. I live here in Mae Sai, Chiang Rai, northern Thailand, and I was deeply involved in the Tam Loang cave rescue back in 2018. I hope you enjoy the journey.
Hello, my name is Rue Walters. I'm a specialist in the 3D visualization of caves around the world, including the Tam Loang cave in northern Thailand.
My name is Piotr and I'm the CEO of 3R Games and the game director of Cave Grave. As you can see, there's a complete Tham Luang annotation map behind me, as we recreate in the cave for virtual reality the same way and with the same level of accuracy we've already done with Nati Pati. I hope you
Wait, what the fuck is that? Why would you need a spoon to scrape that? Well, what is that?
We've already done with Nati Pati. I hope you'll enjoy the tour and we will announce the launch date soon.
I feel like this is going to be a domino effect. Now that these guys are doing it, watch, there's going to be a lot of other game developers that are going to go into PlayStation VR and try to recreate, you know, places around the world to put into VR. I think that'd be really cool.
Dream, I fell into a rabbit
Oh,
hole
so this is,
of
I actually saw this on a couple news stations as well. This apparently is a lot bigger than, it's called sink peeing.
employees and politicians urinating into sinks, which, you know, I always knew was a possibility. I knew our species was capable of such evil, but seeing it unfold firsthand, it's still...
You're really not supposed to do that because it could rust up your sink or your bathtub. You know, some of y'all like to do that shit in a bathtub, man, and rust a fucking bathtub all to hell. Don't do that.
In shock and awe. And it's not like I was blissfully unaware of the existence of this tribe that walks amongst us, the sink pissers, on Reddit quite a few years ago, there was actually a blossoming community, r/sink pissers, that a lot of people were making fun of, but in the shadows,
Yo,
they
man, I eat nachos anytime. Nachos are awesome. I love nachos.
only grew stronger, only finding more and more sinks to relieve themselves in. And now, since we went through that rabbit hole on stream, I've just been getting fed even more cases of workers pissing in clients' sinks, like this one.
You probably won't believe an Indianapolis woman says a maintenance worker peed in her kitchen sink inside her Northeast Side apartment.
No, you won't believe that.
That's crazy. That's actually fucking crazy. Bro couldn't waddle his ass over to the fucking bathroom.
I do believe that. It doesn't
I'm assuming that it's the fat dude that we saw in the thumbnail.
surprise me in even the slightest. I have
Why? Why does it do this now? Stop. I just want... See? That's look like him. You know, would it be easier to go to the bathroom? The sink's like usually, well, I guess I'm short as fuck. I'm 5'6", so like, I guess because the sink for me is like at my, usually at like my waistline, or my chest, or my stomach actually. It's like at my stomach. Bro, really just, ugh, I don't even want to think about it. I don't even want to talk about it. I just want to let the video play.
known about the sink pissers
nope,
community for a long time. And these kind of scenarios have been unfolding pretty often, actually. More so than you would
Oh,
expect.
welcome back, Zerg.
Captured this video on her Ring camera inside of her apartment, and she now tells 13 News she's traumatized over this incident and wants the man to...
Oh, Charlie's absolutely a clown when it comes to politics, but I like his takes on everything other than politics. Anything that doesn't involve him trying to follow the flow of the fucking... These mass media companies trying to... You know where I'm going with that. I don't have to get into a huge detail with that. You know exactly what I mean.
Pay her back for the things he
If
damaged.
you know
Put
for
the piss
sure.
back in the balls, but they could at least reimburse her here for the hassle. And I do imagine if this happened to me, if I found out someone came in and started urinating all over my dishes in the sink, I would never feel comfortable cleaning in that sink again. Because there would always be that lingering what if. Like, you know, this could be some highly acidic piss this guy contaminated my sink with. Even if I replace all the dishes, even if I do my best to really scrub that clean, I just don't know if it would ever be enough. It would leave a lasting impact on me.
Now take a look at your screen. In this video, you can see this maintenance man pulling down his pants and then peeing in Shirley's sink while the dishes were filled.
Jesus Christ. Bro didn't even move the dishes around, just pissed on everything. What the fuck, man? The hell's wrong with these people?
So
Bro,
Shirley says the incident happened last week at her apartment.
man,
over
it'd be a real shame. It's fucking... Never mind.
Blackburn Terrace in the Martindale Brightwood neighborhood. Shirley says she was the maintenance worker was supposed to be there to fix her water heater. When she got back, the man said someone else would be back to finish those repairs. That's when she looked at...
So what, this man all he did was roll up in her fucking house and piss in her sink? Is that all this dude really did? No shot.
The maintenance worker was in the Brightwood neighborhood. Shirley says she was supposed to be there. The maintenance worker was supposed to be there to fix her water heater. When she got back, the man said someone else would be back to finish those repairs.
What the fuck is he doing in her kitchen, pissing in her sink? What the fuck? In the hot water heater, like on the other side of the house, usually, like in the garage? The fuck's he doing in her apartment?
That's when she looked at her camera to see what he did, and she was stunned.
Greaseball really gets up close and personal with the camera here. He's like right up on it, looking like a Twitter profile pic for those 40-year-old dudes that spout out the worst dog shit takes of all time. We got him on the microscope here checking on this. Now, judging from his build, I feel like I can say with a high level of confidence this is probably a frequent user of r/sink pissers. This guy's got the quintessential narwhal baconer at midnight Redditor build.
Narwhal. Oh, what did Charlie just call someone fat?
So I think this guy was probably inspired by some of the posts on there over the years and said, you know what, today's the day. Or maybe he does this often at his work, pissing on people's dishes in the sink.
Flabbergasted, you know. Yeah, I couldn't believe it. Can't imagine if I didn't have it and he did that and I would have been eating from those same dishes later that day.
Just very shocking. And according to Shirley, that man was fired after this incident was reported.
I fear, like
That is
Michael Jordan,
crazy,
in his prime,
bro.
You can't stop him. You can only hope to contain him. So even though he may have lost his job here, I don't think that stopped him.
He's probably
from
just gonna
pissing
get another job somewhere else in maintenance.
strangers' sinks and all over their dishes. That looks like a man with no remorse, a loose cannon. He doesn't even think twice about
Why the
just
hell did they cover his face? They should have released his face.
pissing on the dishes in the sink. It doesn't even seem like he bothers
Oh, but the person, I don't give a fuck about him, bro. He's pissing on people's sink. What if he's got some kind of like, I don't know, you're like STD or something, bro? Fuck that, man. This is disgusting.
pushing down the urine, which is unusual because other employees that have done this usually try and hide the evidence. But this guy, he's proud of his work. He just tinkles it all out on the dishes and just leaves it there like his calling card. And I have to imagine he probably wasn't well hydrated. I have no evidence to base that on. He does have like this meatball build going on here, but I feel like he probably wasn't well hydrated. It's probably very yellow pee-pee. And he just leaves it there too. It's like he wanted to be caught. Maybe that was part of the thrill. This is like, this is, you know, final raid boss sink
Yeah,
pisser
seriously, you know those bastards didn't give her no money for those new dishes.
here. But again, this is not as unusual as you might think. So let me just show you.
Oh,
the rabbit
no.
hole when we were diving down.
Oh,
that stream
no.
You see where that landlord went to fix a problem in a tenant's home and took a piss in the sink?
No way, man.
I can't say I saw that. Well, I mean, that's fine, though. Maybe he solved the problem and then even gave them a little treat. Let's see.
You fucking bastard. You bastard, Charlie.
I didn't know how to look for this, so I just said, landlord fix problem, pee and sink. Maintenance worker fired after allegedly urinating in tenant's sink. Oh, it wasn't the landlord. I thought the
worker urinated in his sink. Take a look for yourself there. The tenant says what should have been a routine service call turned into a disturbing discovery. He says a maintenance worker entered his apartment to address an issue with his washing machine. While inside, the worker was allegedly caught.
But then he identified another issue, an unpissed sink. So we solved two problems in one outing and didn't even charge you for the secondary service. And you have the gall to get angry about it?
So,
tenant's apartment cameras urinating in the kitchen sink. Well, tonight we heard back from the management company in a statement. They said, quote, management was made aware of the incident regarding one of our employees and
bro, that's so fucking disgusting. That's so gross.
On learning of this wholly unacceptable behavior, we immediately put the employee on leave following investigation. We terminated the individual's employment.
Unjust. Can't piss in sinks anymore, huh? Some guy pissed in a coffee maker in Canada.
Investigation. What's the matter? You gonna put his ass under investigation until you realize that there was a fucking camera? Asshole.
He was candidate for an election in 2015. Well, was it his own coffee maker? Or was he also a maintenance worker who went in and relieved himself in a coffee maker? Canadian candidate Jerry Bance out after video shows him urinating into coffee cup.
What? The level of degeneracy you have to attain. Look, I just can't even fathom this.
Toronto businessman who's been running for parliament with Conservative Prime Minister Stephen Harper's party made the wrong kind of splash, has been dropped by his party after he was caught on video urinating into a coffee cup while working as an appliance repairman. That's pretty cool. Where's the video? This seems like a common occurrence.
Well, it's not just like unsanitary. You do realize that we've all been kids once, okay? I used to do that whenever I had a shower. I would always do it in the shower. And we lived in a very, very bad trailer that my grandfather got from the junkyard, but it was all we could afford. He got it from the junkyard, fixed it up, and he passed away. And in between him passing away and us finally moving out of there and then demolishing that piece of shit, I had urinated in the shower so much that it actually eroded the bathtub around the drain. So there was a hole around the drain. A big fucking hole, too. So whenever they say it rusts the bathtub, it rusts the bathtub. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Lot of wacky pissers.
In other news now, a developing political story tonight. The Conservative Party is looking into one of its candidates over some surprising behavior. For more on that, the CBC's David Cochran joins
Remember, porcelain for urine, metal for water.
tonight from Ottawa.
Hey, David. Why do you look so sad?
Wendy, this involves Jerry
This is
Vance,
fun.
who is the Conservative candidate for Scarborough Rouge Park. And just a few days ago, Conservative Cabinet Minister Jason Kenney...
Yeah, Woods is the exception. Woods is the exception. Absolutely.
...was in Vance's cameras set up, and those cameras caught Jerry Vance urinating in a coffee mug and then dumping the contents of that mug into a kitchen sink while the homeowner was in the very next room.
That's like...
Bro, you must have a bladder that's like that big, bro. Like, what? I swear to God, when I use the bathroom every 5 fucking seconds, goddamn water line raises. Like, what do you mean? Bro.
An elevated form of sink pissing. A more elegant solution for the sink pissing enthusiast on Reddit, I would say. Hey, Jerry.
Oh, no. I'll go ask this question. Who the hell has a camera in their fucking in their kitchen like this? I need to do that. Whoever did this is brilliant, but why did you do it to begin with?
He's also taking a cup.
Oh, he took a cup. Like a cup cup.
He just peed in the cup.
Then he empties the cup in the sink.
Oh, yeah, dude. What the fuck? Bro, that was yellow.
Then he empties the cup in the sink. Rinses it.
This is what I'm doing with my life. This is my life. I'm reacting to stupid people online who are peeing in cups and pouring it in the sink. Life is good.
And puts it back.
So when we learned of this, we immediately contacted...
Dude, you know that would smell.
Jerry, I gotta tell you, that seemed like the work of someone who often pisses in coffee cups.
Yep.
That was methodical. That was just like business as usual to this guy. But why, and Jerry, far be it from me to question your technique, why not just cut out the middleman and piss into the sink at that point? What was the point of the coffee cup?
Nope, that was in Canada. That was in Canada.
Did he just want to, like, maximally contaminate as many things as he could find in the kitchen? I don't even see what the purpose was. Not tall enough, he was too short? No, was he? Let me see. Oh, yeah, I guess. Yeah, I guess the countertop's a little high. He could have waterfalled it, just aim up, arc it.
Oh my god.
But then I guess you risk
just arc it,
like floor and stuff, and he's not looking to make a mess.
Now, coincidentally, Conservative leader Stephen Harper will be campaigning in the Scarborough area tomorrow. Jerry Vance is not scheduled to be with him. Wendy?
Yeah, he is busy pissing in my sink right now, probably. I mean, the sink pissers.
Oh, wait. Maybe that's what happened to him after he got done pissing in this person's sink. He got a job and as maintenance, you know? I heard that they're pretty good at that.
Even they would show restraint. That's all they do.
Crazy,
on that
bro.
subreddit,
That's crazy.
Average gallons, flush 1.6.
Oh my god, he's looking at an analysis chart.
Pretty big thing that's been going on. The BBC is now pushing anti-dog propaganda.
This matters because in Iran, a lot of people don't have dogs. It's a Muslim culture thing. So this is a big deal. Especially with how many people have moved into Britain that are Muslim. So now the BBC is going around saying that there are too many places where dogs are accepted. And of course, Rupert Lowe put his 2 cents in. W Restore Britain.
Propaganda.
Are we all become...
Keep in mind, the BBC is also the company that got sued by Donald Trump for editing his speech that he did prior to January 6th insurrection. They edited his speech in a way that made it seem like he antagonized the January 6th insurrectionists. I want to make that very clear. Trump never gave a speech cheering on the January 6th insurrectionists. The BBC has been sued for that speech since he got back into office. Just so you're aware. We covered it. It's on the channel.
From coffee shops, restaurants, and retailers like IKEA, Zara, and John Lewis, dog-friendly spaces are becoming easy to come by. There are 13.5 million pet dogs in the UK, and 36% of households own at least one dog. But people who are allergic to dogs or afraid of them say that the rise of these dog-friendly spaces is a concern.
If you're too scared to leave your house because of dogs being everywhere, I don't know what to tell you. I feel like if you get bit by a dog, sue the fuck out of the owner, get the dog put down, and move on with your life. Congratulations, you just won a $50,000 suit. Like,
One woman with the extreme fear of dogs told the BBC that she feels trapped.
If you have a fear of dogs that's so bad that you can't go outside, you should just be institutionalized. If it's so debilitating that you can't even go and leave your house, then they should just put you in a padded room or something. That way nothing bad happens to you.
She only goes out on special occasions due to the lack of dog-free zones. She's one of the many seeking support in online groups who offer advice on how to avoid them.
So people are really mad
I'll let it play.
About this because they think that this is a psyop that's being pushed by them trying to normalize Islamic tradition. A lot of
it is. I can almost guarantee you it is.
People that are Islamic are not fans of dogs. And I think that now you're probably going to start seeing more people that are getting angry about this. At this point, it's no longer about acceptance, it's about control.
Well, now that they've all moved into your country, they're going to start changing it to the way they want it to be. That's what they want.
Shop owner who's
like I said, it's a form of colonization. It was never about moving to a country and assimilating with the culture. It was about colonizing it, taking it over, being the majority and oppressing the minority. That's what it was about.
It's underpinned by the dogs, says that they're part of the family. What do you think?
If a foreigner doesn't want to live in a dog-loving country...
Look at that, Rupert Lowe. W. Rupert Lowe.
I'll pay for their taxi to the airport myself.
That's right.
So we have Keir Starmer.
We've seen a devastating rise in Islamophobia. I've heard firsthand.
That's a fake fucking word. That's a fake fucking word made up so that way you can't criticize their religion. Anytime you hear Islamophobia, that is a fake fucking word. because you're criticizing their religion. I hate to break it to you, but no religion, no culture is above being scrutinized. If your book of your religion says that you own a piece of land 3,000 years ago, well, it's a good thing that it was 3,000 years ago, and it's very convenient that your book that you wrote says that that land belongs to you.
The women wearing hijab who are too scared to travel by public transport.
What if they're too scared to not wear the hijab?
The surge in Islamophobia is simply appalling. I do not want Britain to be a place where British Muslims are not able to be their whole selves, where they feel they must hide or tone down who they are. As leader of the Labour Party, I am indebted to the contributions of Muslim members.
Oh man, early bird gets the first, huh? Oh, made up words. God bless Rupert. What? Stromer is a Moonstar. Don Lemon is a monster. Don Lemon is a monster. Well, you got a 50-50 take. I'll take it. I'll take it. I'll take it.
Activists and politicians.
That's the reason why you're doing this, is that you want the votes. You want to import these people in, do what they say, then get them to vote for you as a racial or a religious bloc. That's
exactly what they're doing. They will never admit it, but that's exactly what they're doing.
Reason why.
Who make our party what it is today.
Always about the votes.
I'd like to thank Muslim organisations and mosques who work tirelessly to raise awareness and shine a light on the scale of Islamophobia.
I think that the world is past the point where you can just condemn something and assign a label to it, then it automatically gets disregarded. This exploit has been overused by people like him. There is a frame of reference that people like this create where they assign a label to something and then they expect that the other person now has to remove that label. I'm so tired of this. Call it race.
Yeah, I hate to break it to you, but that's not working anymore. It's not working anymore whatsoever. You call someone a name like racist, Islamophobic, fascist, calling ICE Gestapo, they just laugh at you now. There was a viral video of an ICE person laughing at this twat that was calling him the Gestapo. He just started laughing at him. Is that dude? He'd made the video name the little fascist giggling, and it's like, dude, like, come on, who's really little here? Dude was like 5'4" or some shit. He was tiny, and then this ICE agent is just laughing at his stupid ass. It's just, come on.
Call it whatever the hell you want. That's still the way that people feel. And you don't get to just disregard and ignore the way everybody feels because you think that you can assign a word to it that just automatically makes it wrong. That's not the way the world works.
Yep.
Come up with a better argument.
They're seeing through it now. A lot of people kind of had that hiccup at first, but now they're just seeing through it. They don't care.
One of the biggest online casino empires in the world is now starting to One of the biggest online casino empires in the world is now starting to show some cracks in the foundation, with 3 lawsuits already filed, an investigation over alleged fraud in its own games, and also one of its newest faces.
So a lot of Kick's revenue, the streaming service Kick, gets its revenue from Stake, which is a gambling service. There were a lot of streamers that, get banned on Twitch. They go to Kick, and for a long time, if you streamed on Kick, you were like a degenerate, I guess would be the easier way to say it. So Twitch people would say, well, you've got gambling, ha ha ha, you've got gambling. Gambling makes money. Gambling makes a lot of money. Hell, the percentage of how much money you can make with gambling is a guaranteed for the most part. And now Twitch has gambling as well. So I'm curious to see why. Like, for example, streamers would be given, now I don't know if this is true or not, but I've heard allegations of streamers being given hundreds of thousands of dollars to gamble on stream by gambling companies, so that way they never had to truly dip into their own funds, right? To promote the gambling service. Obviously, you shouldn't be able to do that because if that's the truth, that is a form of fraud. It's fake.
Is under scrutiny in Belgium.
You know, what better way to sell a gambling site? Oh, I put $1,000 in and got $25,000 back. You could be this too. That's fraud.
This is all while its biggest creators are now quietly jumping ship. But I mean, it's safe to say, when you trace the story back to its roots, you kind of end up somewhere a little bit unexpected. RuneScape. Because before Stake was a multi-billion-dollar operation, it was just an idea cooked up between two online gamers who met through an MMORPG, betting in-game gold coins. Third-party sites, which technically violated the game's terms of service, but it worked. And from there, they moved into Bitcoin dice games when in 2013, they launched a platform called Prime Dice that essentially let users play using cryptocurrency. And at that time, they had no license, no real regulatory framework, just a website and a lot of demand that started pulling in users almost instantly. Then, a few years later, with Prime Dice as their foundation, they built out something far more ambitious. Stake.com. This was launched in 2017 as a full-service crypto casino/platform, and it was licensed through Curacao, you know, one of those tax havens in the Caribbean. But this platform was headquartered in Australia and was growing surprisingly fast from the start. And just to give it some sense of scale, by 2024, the platform was generating roughly $4.7 billion in gross game.
That makes more sense. Because you said they use credit. That actually makes more sense, so that way technically it's not actual money. It's easy to make up this weird currency in a game and then if you're able to push that as an actual like money, then it would make a lot of sense. You know, if I owned a casino business that was digital and I wanted a streamer to use the casino to make money, what better way than to have an account and give them the account where the credits on the account never equate to actual money? That explains a lot, actually. That explains a ton. I didn't even think about that.
Revenue, meaning this is after paying out player winnings. So definitely not bad for a couple of guys who started just by staking in an online game. Now, Stake's growth definitely didn't happen out of nowhere.
Like, there were a lot of streamers that quote-unquote lost everything, but their way of living didn't exactly change. So that makes so much sense.
The company made a very deliberate bet early on that the fastest way to grow a casino platform on the internet wasn't with traditional ads or SEO. It was actually getting the most watched people on the internet to gamble or stream on their website. And they were willing to pay massive amounts of money to make that happen. Trainwrecks TV, who became one of the platform's first major partners, once told his viewers that he'd taken around $360 million from Stake over roughly 16 months, which is just stupid money.
I'll release what I got paid since the beginning of my contract. I've been paid $360 million for 16 months of gambling.
And XQC later went live on stream and also mentioned that his arrangement with Stake pays him a flat $200,000 per gambling session, regardless of how long the stream runs or...
Yeah, WXQC for being transparent. Like, I don't blame the streamers. I'm sorry, boys, but if I get paid $350 million to sit there and gamble for 16 months, well, we probably gonna be split screening some shit. Gonna have gambling up on one side and a toesy on the other, boys.
How much you actually wagers?
I got bills to pay, bruh.
It can be for 10 minutes, could be 5 hours. I get 20K flat.
And Aiden Russ had Ethereum worth an estimated $78 million flow through accounts linked to him from Stake between late 2021 and early 2025. And then, of course, there's Drake.
Yo, low-key, if I sign up any contracts like that, I would immediately be like, I gotta be able to announce it. If I can't announce it, I'm not doing it. I want to stay transparent.
The rapper
I don't want to ever go away from that because, like, I'd much rather be transparent and be like, yeah, bro, I got bills to pay. Sorry, but, I got bills to pay. You know what I'm saying? Shit.
Ambassador in a deal reportedly worth over $100 million a year at the time. And his role was
I don't either. I don't gamble either.
To gamble or play publicly.
I despise gambling so much. The second I find a game that isn't single player that I can't, like, cheat to get the rolls, I don't play it. I don't play it at all. I don't like gambling. I don't like how it makes you feel like shit if you don't win. I don't like
Interesting. So Drake himself would host multi-hour long live streams and post about his wins and losses on Instagram to his followers, which made it feel way more real than traditional advertising ever could. And I guess this was pretty much the Drake effect, now helping boost stake.
Yeah. Like, for example, in Borderlands, you can download a mod that lets you, like, always roll a legendary weapon. That kind of cheating. Yeah. Yeah, dude. I do it all the time. Console commands are my best friend.
And they leaned into it so
I'll probably play through a game that I buy on PC through the first go. Like, if I haven't played it before, I'll play through it, like, without cheating. Unless it's Stalker 2. Because that game was so broken that I couldn't even get to the end of the game. I streamed it. I tried to anyway. And it kept crashing at the end. So I ended up having to look up a video for it. So it'd probably be the only game that I would probably replay again with using cheat codes.
And running promotions where users could enter to win big alongside of Drake. But for a while, a lot of this original gambling streaming was ran through Twitch, which at the time was the undisputed home of live streaming. However, in September of 2022, Twitch...
I don't know. I always wondered that too. Like, it disables... I go by this rule of thumb. If it disables the trophies, then you're not playing the game legitimately. But if it doesn't disable the trophies, you're playing it still legitimately. So, like, for example, in Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, if you start playing it and the trophies keep popping, but you enter a cheat code and it disables the trophies, that's my determining factor. Straight up. It means that it was such a blight to the system that it just said no. Like, the developers were like, no, this is actually, like, that's what makes me determine, is because if they think it's cheating, if the developers think it's cheating, then I'm like, okay, they're the ones who made the game. I'll go with whatever they say, you know?
Used a policy change that banned streams of slots, roulette, and dice games from platforms not licensed in the US and or in other markets with proper consumer protection standards. Stake, whose main website still operates under a Curacao license and is effectively blocked from the American market, was a direct casualty under that rule. So Craven and Tarani did what anyone with a few $1 billion and a reason to build a streaming platform would do. They built their own streaming platform. And that's why today we have Kick, which was launched in December of 2022, positioning itself as kind of like this like anti-Twitch, a creator-first platform with a 95% revenue split for the streamers, which is that.
You do know that by saying that, I'm gonna pull you up and I'm gonna look at your history. The real question is, how many other streams did you join that made you think the way you did? That's the real question. I'm gonna guess 4. I'm gonna guess you've been here for 4. No, you know what? No, 2. I think you've only been here for 2 streams. Oh my God. I was right the first go around. See, that's what happens when I second guess. Fox News state-run TV. Oh, here we go. Hey, MAGA, your deity is BB's bitch. Oh, look at that. 4 streams of just nonsense. I can't believe I guessed it right on my first. I should stop second-guessing myself. 4 streams. Look at that. 4 streams. Damn, I'm good. I did second guess myself. If I had to second guess myself, I'd have got it right.
I mean, that is massive. For context, I'm pretty sure the base contract on Twitch is a 50-50 split. But obviously, this new platform had completely different policies and allowed all of these gambling streams to happen. And within about a year, they actually pulled over so many of the big names that they already had deals with on Stake, including XQC, Aiden Ross, and so many others. And because of that, a whole bunch of other streamers followed. So the official line from both companies is that Stake and Kick are separate businesses, just both housed under the same EasyGo parent company. And Craven has said in its interviews that the two operate independently.
They sell themselves every time they do stupid shit like that. They do.
With
like,
clear
come on.
ownership lines. But what's also true is they share the same building in Melbourne, they share executives, and that Kick's content ecosystem seems to essentially function as a marketing arm for the casino. And a lot of the streamers play on Stake while broadcasting on Kick. So the clips then get packaged.
If I'm not mistaken, the massive issue with Stake isn't that it's a gambling place, right? The issue with Stake was that they were giving, and this is from what I've heard. This is not an allegation. This is what I've heard by word of mouth. So take it with a grain of salt. May or may not be true. That they're getting these accounts from Stake, these streamers, with credits already on them, and they're rolling these credits during their streams to make Stake seem like it has higher percentage of win to lose ratios, so more people lose money in Stake, which is where the fraud kicks in. And they're using that to piggyback off. They're using the Stake. They're feeding themselves, because you have Kick that has the Stake backing it, and you have the streamers that are feeding it back into Stake. It's the big circle of fraud. That's what's really going on here.
Post across social media, which then loops the traffic right back to Stake. So it's safe to say that this definitely worked. And by the third quarter of 2025, Kick had climbed to about 4th place among the most watched live streaming platforms in the world. But here's where the legal trouble starts, because when the main site was banned in the US, and I guess a big chunk of their audience...
I didn't know that. They banned Stake in the US?
Being in the States, the company decided to roll out a separate American version called Stake.us and labeled it as a social casino. So the framing is that it's just entertainment. Nobody's actually gambling or spending real money, as players could use, I guess, like virtual currency called gold coins for gameplay.
But you have to buy the gold coins with money, do you not?
Which are explicitly described as having no cash value. But apparently, bundled with every gold coin purchase is a secondary currency called Stake Cash, which can be wagered on all the same casino games and then cashed out to a flat 1-to-1 rate against the US dollar. So attorneys in several states looked at that structure and arrived at essentially the same conclusion, that the gold coin framing is a wrapper to make real money gambling look acceptable. So the first major lawsuit against Stake landed in Missouri in October of 2025. A man by the name of Justin Killam filed a class action.
Bro, you gotta stop. Dude, you gotta change these goddamn names, bro. You gotta change these names. Who the hell wants to go through their life with a name like that? Come on.
Against Stake, Drake, and Aiden Ross, arguing that Stake.us was functionally the same as the main website. Same games, same layout, same experience, and that the dual currency model was a deliberate legal workaround rather than, you know, a genuinely distinct product. And the suit also alleged that Drake and Aiden Ross had been presenting their wagering as personal gambling, when the money that they were betting was actually being supplied by the platform.
No, everyone gambles whenever they're a little kid. Look at Yu-Gi-Oh cards, look at Magic the Gathering packs, Pokemon packs. It's all the same shit. I love that these individual states want to go after video games. They should also go after the card games as well. They should. I think they need a complete crackdown on this.
Losses they occasionally showed audiences were just, hey, this is a marketing strategy rather than real financial consequences. And again, this is currently being alleged. We don't have proof of this right now, because Stake denied everything, and they said they'd contest the claims. And Aiden Ross on livestream described the lawsuit just like this.
Guys, there's nothing to talk about.
I think, so the way he described it is like, I guess with every, like, for example, $100 purchase of Stake gold coin, your US Stake gold coin purchase, which has no value, you get a percentage of Stake 1-to-1 value, meaning 1-to-1 Stake crypto to actual US dollar. So I guess that's how they're trying to get away with it, but I think they're trying to find the loophole of, well, you didn't pay for it, you bought the gold coin and we threw it in as an added value. I think that's the loophole they're trying to go with.
Regarding the title, regarding what's going on with us, you guys can look into it. I will tell you guys this: it's bull. To me, it seems like somebody. If you guys can see what Asmongold said, because someone sent that to me, it's literally true. Like, just watch the Asmongold thing. It's bull.
But then a second lawsuit followed a few days later in New Mexico, making nearly identical arguments. And then, on the last day of 2025, a third complaint was filed in Virginia. And this one went somewhere completely new, because the Virginia filing named 4 defendants: Stake, Drake, Aiden Ross, and an Australian guy by the name of George Newen.
You could. I mean, like, ideally, you wouldn't do this, period. But the thing is I understand why he's doing this. Look, money literally doesn't grow. Well, I mean, it does, but not. Okay, so money's not going to just appear out of thin air. In order to run a streaming service for like Twitch, right? You have to have massive servers. Massive. Like, we're talking server centers the size of some Google plants. Okay? You have to have massive servers. Those things cost millions of dollars. You need ad revenue to flow through that in order to recoup the costs. Like, I guarantee you, most of the money that Twitch is getting is being spent on these massive data centers, these servers, just to stay afloat. When you have somebody like Asmongold, for example, that doesn't run ads on his 50,000-60,000 view stream every single day, that's a massive loss of money. Massive loss of money. The thing is that Stake and Kick don't have ads like that. They have each other. And they are, that's the big problem. It was built functionally fucked up from day one. They need, like, you need all 3 of those branches of Kick in order to function. You need Kick with all of its big ass data centers and its servers. You need Stake to bring that money in, and you need streamers to promote those individual gambling sites. You need those things. Missing any one of those 3 on Kick would immediately falter and die. Like, you have to have a way to generate revenue, and advertisers want those views on their you know, like, what better way to kick up more viewers than to have your big streamer sign a $350 million contract to go and stream on Kick. And do what? Well, we specifically want you to gamble. We want you to gamble for 16 months specifically. That's 16 months of some big-ass streamer with millions of views that's going to generate revenue.
Idea who this George guy was, but apparently he's an Instagram guy with over 500,000 followers. So the complaint alleged that Drake and Aiden Ross have been routing money through Stake's internal tipping system to George.
Like, I understand why they're doing it. That doesn't make it right, but I get it. I understand the need to make money. I absolutely get it. We all get it. But at a certain level, you have to have an accountability for yourself and your actions of your company. Because if you don't, you're going to end up in jail for fraud. And I'm not saying this to piss all over fucking Kick or Twitch or any company. I get it. You need to make money. But there are laws in place to make sure you don't make money a certain way for a reason. When you have somebody that picks up on gambling, first of all, if you pick up on gambling and you lose all your money, you should have sought help. You should have. You knew it was wrong and you did it anyway. Rip bozo. I'm going to make that very clear. I don't particularly care. It's not my problem because I don't like gambling. I think it should be illegal. Period, plain and simple. It damn sure shouldn't be used to attract kids. That's disgusting. It's predatory. But you knew you had a problem and you didn't seek help. That's on you. But at the same time, if you're a massive billionaire titan, you're held to a higher standard, and just ripping money out of people's hands to put towards your big betting machine, that's just malicious. That's disgusting.
Use those funds to pay bot services.
You should do better.
To artificially inflate streaming numbers for both of them across platforms like Spotify and Apple Music. So that is a Crazy allegation. But we did kind of just cover that Kick staff was admitting that they were aware of bots on the platform. So I can't really say that's related, but bots are around, that's for sure. But according to the suit, the goal was to prop up the appearance of popularity, pushing
And you're
Drake
absolutely right. It is a poor man's game. It is. It absolutely is. Because the mentality when you're poor and you've been poor your whole life is, what can I do to get money? What can I do to double or triple my money? Most people turn to gambling, not realizing that with how much money they've spent gambling, they could have easily made a profit off of it.
higher in the recommendation algorithm.
It's predatory. It's predatory by nature.
And obviously suppresses competing artists in the process, and then of course generating royalty income from streams, which isn't real. Now obviously these are some serious allegations, and the complaint described it as racketeering activity that had been running continuously since 2022, and the two plaintiffs were seeking at least $5 million in damages. So Stake's response was brief. They called the whole thing nonsense and specifically denied that Stake US even has a tipping mechanism. And they said they weren't worried about the case. And Drake, Aiden, and George, on the other hand, they didn't comment publicly. And as of right now, all these cases are still working their way through the courts. And all of that could have easily been a video on its own. But then came February 2026, when a Bloomberg Businessweek investigation dropped and quickly took over the entire conversation. So now you have Cecilia D'Anastasio, Olivia Solon, and Lian Yen writing an article reportedly based on the data analysis of nearly 500 hours of slot footage from 25 streamers on Kick. 5 of them were among Stake's highest paid profiles. Drake,
well, I mean, you have to keep in mind, these like gambling wouldn't work if it wouldn't be for that. They need people to feed the gambling. And you need to have some form of, I guess, emotion whenever you're gambling. It's almost like a drug. You get that high, and then whenever you lose, you get the low, you know? Think about it. Most of everything, including social media, like the whole reason why you see everyone with phones in their hands, what is it? I keep wanting to say it's an endorphin rush, but it's not. It's a, there's a name for it. It's like a constant stimulus. Dopamine, thank you. It is. It's the dopamine. So, like, even social media is engineered to hit a dopamine. It's everywhere. Everything you do, to a certain extent, other than maybe work, gives you a stimulation that keeps you doing it. Like you gamble and that gives you a rush. You smoke or you drink, that gives you a kind of like a drug effect. You smoke marijuana, same thing. Any drug you take, you get on social media, you start sliding on your phone. Now there's talk that the blue light that comes out of your phone can keep you awake. And it makes you swipe more to get the dopamine. Like it doesn't end.
XQC, Trainwrecks TV, and Roshtime, with the remaining being about regular or smaller streamers with not too many known financial ties on the platform. And the reporters apparently used an AI model to process a screenshot from every 4 seconds of footage, pulling out balance amounts, bet sizes, and which game was being played, then manually verifying the data. And at a baseline level, they found that across all 25 players, a big win, which apparently is a 1000x return on a single bet, happened roughly once every 10,000 spins on average. And apparently that 1000x is the threshold the community typically considers as a big win. However, Drake's raid on EasyGo owned games was a little bit different. So they were apparently 4 times
I don't think necessarily you're wrong, but do you really think that a multi-billion-dollar corporation that has everything it ever needs at its disposal, including a bunch of chair members that will also pump money into it, doesn't rig the game in their favor? Do you really think that TikTok came about because of what? You do realize that before TikTok was TikTok, it was like some kind of other weird ass site, right? and then a company took it over and turned it into the second biggest platform in the world, if not the biggest. It's by design. That's why you don't see a small company turn into a trillionaire. You see a small company turn into a billionaire, and then you see that billionaire get bought by a different company and they get turned into a trillionaire. It's like that by nature and design. Oh.
Higher than that, or once at about every 2,500 spins. Aiden also posted similar numbers in one EasyGo session, and the part that Bloomberg leaned the hardest on was when both of them were playing third-party slots, games made by outside developers available across multiple casinos, and their win rates were completely normal. And then you have 4 other streamers who played a comparable volume of rounds. They never recorded a single big win. Now, obviously, that's a lot of information, but in other words, the conclusion they reached was that big wins are extremely rare. However, when it came to Drake and Aiden playing slots owned by Stake's parent company, those wins were happening way more often than they should, while their results on regular third-party games look completely normal. So if this is all true, that's a problem. And the investigation also documented a specific session from August 2025 where Drake had been playing for over an hour and losing steadily, until Ed Craven, Kick or Stake's co-founder, joined the stream and suggested that he switched to a specific EasyGo game. And then Drake won big.
Why would he do that? Bro, why would you do that? Why would you do... Dude, you have that many people. You don't for a second think that somebody's going to put 2 and 2 together? What were you thinking?
Times within the following hour.
Look, man, look, I get that you're trying to run a business, but at a certain point, you have to realize that when someone's being an idiot, you can't just bail them out, man. What are you doing?
Look, can we make shake, brother? Seriously.
I've been watching the whole stream. I don't know. I honestly feel like you've been getting some bad advice from everyone in the call here. You know, these picks have been terrible.
Okay, so give us one. Can we get one?
Yeah, you know what? No. Eddie, you're right. The Snake originals are a terrible pick, huh?
Again, I can't show gameplay of him winning. We can only zoom into his camera and see the reaction. So they noted that a majority of these massive wins across their dataset occurred in sessions when Ed had either appeared on stream or dropped game recommendations into the live chat, which is definitely interesting. But after that article was released, Stake told Bloomberg that the findings were categorically incorrect. They argued that calling something a big win is a very loose definition and doesn't really account.
This is what everyone does. They try to disenfranchise every article and every piece of information when you start putting two and two together. It's very interesting to see these people do this.
For how different these games are, especially in terms of
I love how it's a counter it's not a counter statistic. It's them just straight up disenfranchising you.
And payouts.
It's oh well no, that's not possible. You don't even know what that means. No, that's not true, liar. No, that's not true. No, not at all. Nope.
Comparing win rates across different games can end up being very misleading. Then, XQC got onto Twitter and said this is the worst journalism he'd ever seen. He argued the sample size was just way too small and the language was slanted, and the research was surface level at best. And the other Kick co-founder, Bijan Tarani, also posted that the mythology was flawed, pointing out that the small footage windows Bloomberg had both for Drake 1.3 hours and Aiden only 0.1 hours or 6 minutes was just way too small. But Bloomberg had already addressed this in its published mythology, noting that 1.3 hours of gameplay equaled about 15,000 spins, which exceeded the 10,000 spin average their data showed. Hold up, you're betting 15,000 times in 1.3 hours? That's crazy. But I guess whether that's a big enough sample for probability analysis and slots is genuinely a statistical debate. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts down below, but that's roughly where things stand. And just to be clear,
I think that they're kind of selling the game and they should back off for a while. They should. Like, I get your need to make money to keep the systems going. I get it. But maybe you should cool it the fuck off, because if you don't, someone's going to end up in jail. That's what I think. I think they should cool it.
Good morning. Overnight, the United States.
Okay. We'll watch this, and then we're gonna move on to the politics, boys. Politics
is in the news again for,
Laugh.
well, a lot of crimes. We're going to talk about his jail maxing today on the Legal Mindset, where he teach you to be your own.
He kind of started the trend of the like maxing. So like he would looks max, which is if you in society look a type of way, meaning if you look fucking hot, typically you have more advantages than others. So he used to do old fashioned like look maxing videos where you take a little hammer and you like try to chisel your jaw by hitting it as you're growing, using like roids or something to hit the gym a little bit more often, stuff like that. It was look maxing, if you guys don't know.
American attorney, and this is a Fast Facts video, the quick and dirty version of the latest in legal news. So clavicular has become one of my favorite topics here now, mostly because of the format of his streams combined with his clear autism, which he used.
We're heavily monitoring this because he's got a lot of political views that are like Asmongold, but he knows how to put people in their place. He's walked out on legacy media news. Oh my God. Interviews. He's put Chase Morgan in his place, or Pierce Morgan. He's gone the mile.
Uses as a criminal defense. Yes, indeed. We're going to get into that today. That is a massive.
And recently he put he pumped a magazine into a dead alligator in Florida, which apparently is illegal.
Massive thing that shows up time and time again, where him being awkward or not really understanding social scenarios gets him into trouble on stream. And with the popularity of his streams,
keep in mind that Florida doesn't give a shit that he shot a dead alligator. They care because they have a trade in alligator hides, and it's kind of hard to sell an alligator hide if it's got 6 bullets in it.
Indeed, more people are coming out to interact with him, to engage with him. There's a lot of things that may or may not be going on behind the scenes that may be a little bit shady. And all these things build up to potential criminality, potential liability. So you've got this on the table.
Please like and sub to the channel.
This is indeed his mug shot from Osceola County. That's by Orlando. That's where, in fact, Disney World is partly in Osceola County. Now, the plaintiff here, well, we'll go with 2 potential plaintiffs here. We've got Jenny Poppich, who's going to be on the assault and battery charges, particularly. And then we've got an alligator, right? So the big mess up and what everyone was going on first was of the alligator. So we're going to start with...
They originally tried to say that the alligator was alive. That the original like titles that I saw were clavicular kills alligator. That is complete misinformation. That is a smear campaign, and that is completely wrong. I've seen the video. I've seen the full video. I don't think you can watch the full video on YouTube because it does show someone shooting a firearm into a carcass. I do not know if that violates the terms of service, but I would assume it does because nobody has uploaded the full video. But I have seen the full video.
Right? So let's start with the gator. And what got everybody thinking this is serious was an actual official message from Florida Fish and Wildlife. This is from the official Florida Fish and Wildlife account, MyFWC, which says the Fish and Wildlife is aware of a video depicting individuals in the Everglades on an airboat who appear to be discharging firearms at an alligator. FWC officers are looking into the incident and will provide additional information when available. To report wildlife violations, call the Wildlife Alert hotline at 888-404-3922. Well, apparently it got to the point where they're getting so many calls and they were just inundated with people informing them about them emptying into this alligator that they decided to call in. Now, let's review the actual...
I don't even know what the hell that means, man. What does that even mean? Shoot your foot off? You do know that Adderall is an upper, right? It's not a downer. Unless you've got ADHD. You do understand that. Like, Adderall is a super upper. So, like, you're not going to be, like... You're going to be, like, bouncing off the walls if you don't have... If you don't have ADHD and you take something like Vyvanse or Adderall, you're going to be bouncing off the walls. Oh shit! No! Look what you made me do. Look what you made me do.
Else's drone. A drone, once again, a big difference legally, right? So there's a huge legal distinction between shooting a live gator and a dead gator.
Yeah, can we dump it around into it? Well, let's just test it. I
don't even give a fuck if it's an abuse of a corpse. It's a fucking dead animal, bro. That thing's gonna sit. The only reason why he's getting charged, it has nothing to do with abuse of a corpse. There's no charge like that. It's because there are laws that protect alligator hide in the state of Florida. Because it's it's something that Florida uses to make money. It's a trade good. That's the only reason why. I'm sure he'll talk about it.
Bro just said it's. All right, we gotta make sure. No.
I want to point out this incident involving a drone, and you can
I don't know if he's gonna show it, but I damn sure can't take the chance.
See the drone up in the upper left corner, because shooting at a drone technically is a federal crime, and you can
I didn't know that either.
see this here as they're going. The drones over there.
How much is that drone?
They're talking about the drone, how much it
I don't even think you guys
costs.
can hit that.
Well, how about if I just
Don't say that.
That's
a challenge.
I genuinely don't
Put
think
a
you on
bounty on
Twitter.
it.
What?
$500. It's like a leaderboard. $1,000.
Who should have done?
Nah.
I don't know, bro. That's not ours, bro.
Nah, not him.
So they're saying it's not their drone. So it's somebody else's drone. A drone, once again, qualifies, and I'll clarify this.
I could understand why it would be a felony to shoot down a drone. It's no different than shooting a firearm up in the air. The bullet has to come down somewhere. I completely understand why it would be classified as a felony.
Qualifies as an aircraft. So that would be a felony crime.
No, don't shoot it.
That's crazy. I did not know that.
Bro. Someone's watching us. Yeah, no shit.
Take it out.
That's a clip right
So
there.
someone says take it out.
How much does this drone cost?
I
I think you should shoot at it. Don't hit it. Yeah.
What you mean?
What?
Stress them out. Shoot around it, right?
Yeah. Shoot it.
So they say shoot around it.
Oh yeah. My bad.
5 years in prison and a $5,000 fine. But unfortunately, shooting at a dead gator is generally not a crime. Now, it would be a crime if you end up messing with the carcass, if you were to chop it up or try to haul it off or do something with the dead gator carcass. That can actually get you in trouble. That can be a crime. But assuming they didn't pick it up and it didn't appear on the stream like they picked up the gator and messed with the carcass, assuming it was dead and they shot at it, that's not a crime. And that's generally not something that's going to get them in trouble. Shooting at a drone was a federal felony, once again, because they're aircraft under FAA protections. So it's a crime to damage, destroy, or wreck aircraft. So
Is that really what it's about? Are they not even trying to go after him because of the gator anymore? They're just trying to get him for that? That's kind of funny.
Drone being an aircraft, yes, that would be something that if you indeed did damage
That would explain why they said it wasn't the alligator.
the drone, that would be a problem. Now, it appears they did not knock the drone out of the sky or they didn't hit the drone. So they
I don't think it matters because they shot up in the air, though.
Argue, okay, we weren't actually, we didn't actually hit that, so there's no crime committed because we didn't hit the actual drone. But the real criminal charge and the thing they've really got to worry about and what he actually went to jail for is battery and also instigation of battery. So let's get into that.
Oh,
So here we
is
have
it?
an incident
Okay, it was this. So this, after all of that, this is what, dude.
from a trip to Disneyland. This is an
So if you don't know what happened here, these two, it was a cat fight between these two, and I guess Clav grabbed the girl that wasn't his girlfriend or whatever, and then let his girlfriend get a few cheap shots on her or some shit like that. And now he's in a lot of trouble. She's in a lot of trouble now
Osceola
too.
County and an Airbnb. And you can see Clavicular here with his, I guess, new girlfriend and former girlfriend. I mean, there's a girl fight here. And you'll see this incident is the one that actually got him in trouble.
Get out. I'm gonna do not touch me. I'm gonna drag. Do not touch me. Yo, you're gonna drag.
Okay, so clearly there's
I don't know why the hell he would get involved with this, man. He needed to get away from these girls. He needed to stop shooting dead things. And he needs to lock in, bro. I get he's young, but man, you gotta lock in, bro. You gotta lock in. Especially with like how famous you are right now. This guy could easily be double the size of Asmongold and 3 times as famous as Charlie Kirk. You gotta lock in. You are so fucking young, and you are throwing it away, Clav.
Assault battery stuff going on between these girls, right? That's very, very clear. You can argue about instigation. You can argue about self-defense. That's all something they can argue in court. But clearly between the girls, that's going on there. All right. So the audio's out on this. But you can see as that video goes on, this whole behavior, which this girl eventually gets kicked out, that can be conspiracy to instigate battery, essentially. Now, Clavicular was brought in on these charges. These are actually what he was arrested for and he was brought in for. And you can see here as well, his girlfriend, Violet Marie Lentz, was also brought in on assault. You can see the day of the warrant, 2/25/2026. So they were both brought in, and she's right there with Clavicular. You can see they were both brought in on these charges. And indeed, he just made bail. You can see him in this video getting out of the Osceola County Jail.
You're usually pretty chatty. Anything to say?
Yeah, sure, man. Just woke up, I'm a little tired, so maybe next time.
He walked off by himself and he was still on the phone. So what's next? He's facing those charges in Osceola County, which is the Kissimmee area, and FWC is also looking...
So he actually talked about this. We saw a little clip of this yesterday. So this was right after he got released. He wanted to wait in the lobby for his security detail to come and get him and a car, but they kicked him out of the lobby. Like, that's literally what happened, and he's just trying to get, like, he has, I just don't understand why they couldn't wait, why he wasn't allowed to wait in the lobby of the police station for his security detail to come and pick him up.
Into some video showing him shooting.
Sorry, but not everybody that just gets out of jail wants to sit here and talk to a bunch of paparazzi that follow you around constantly. I promise you, bro, if you pay him enough money, he'll probably fart in a jar for you.
At a dead gator in the Everglades.
So he's still under investigation for that even after he gets out on bail. Now, one very interesting thing about this is in a media article that was following this was that Clavicular was actually trying to use clout and autism as a defense, as a criminal defense. So you see this, sources close to Clavicular tell us he did not assault or instigate anyone in the February incident. And the girl who called police and claimed to be his girlfriend, that's Jenny, right? Claimed his girlfriend battered her, is someone who has been trying to gain fame and clout off Clav's back. That's very interesting as a defense, because that's not really a defense. Saying someone wants clout is not something that you can wield like a sword or a shield or whatever else, or say, oh, they want clout, or I have clout and they don't, whatever that is. That's not an actual criminal defense. The relative clout.
Yet, I'm sorry, but he's already had to run a guy over for him throwing himself on his hood. At what point do we acknowledge that this is a problem? Because you've got all these people running around with cameras trying to assault and get into fights with people who have bigger audiences. When are we going to acknowledge this and set this into law that you can't just do that? Like, when does this happen?
The parties is not something.
And this could work both ways, because just imagine like that Nina Lynn bitch that was going around and like harassing workers at their job and stuff. Like, when can we start charging these fucking idiots for this? Like, seriously.
Going to consider, the prosecutors are going to consider whether or not to charge somebody, etc. Right now, that might go into factoring into the scenario, and that might also go into the scenarios that they're putting themselves in, where they're having people they're interacting with, or having these girls in the house together. They're creating these situations with the girls where they've really got to have security. They've got to have some of these girls, removed, separated, etc. Maybe him not getting involved in that personally. That's something that he really can't do. And trying to say, once again, that he was just standing there awkwardly because he has autism.
No lie on God, LOL. Oh my God, did that be funny? The plaintiff is Captain on God, LOL.
To the crime. Autism is not going to get you out of the crime either. There's plenty of autistic criminal defendants. Autism is not a criminal defense. It's not something that gets you out of jail for free. And clearly in that video, we see that he did get involved by grabbing, restraining, holding her, right? And in those situations, particularly if you've got the funds, you've got security, which it appears in most videos with Clav, he actually does have security. That's something where you shouldn't really be getting involved in that and putting your hands on the girl like that, because you're likely to get in trouble for that, right?
Yeah, that's kind of the whole point of having the security. It's kind of like someone like Mike Tyson. It's not that he can't drop you in one punch, it's that he just doesn't want to get sued. I mean, if someone like Mike Tyson punches somebody and they end up getting killed, he goes to jail forever, and there's just no winning in that situation. I'm sorry, like, that's why they have security. It's not for their own protection, it's for yours. Dumbass.
Here's my judgment. So my judgment is Clavicular is likely going to get cleared of the gator crime. Shooting a dead gator in Florida is not a crime, and he's unlikely to get charged for the drone incident because he didn't hit or damage the drone. And because of that, those two are unlikely to go anywhere. He's already out on bail for the battery charge, but I think for that one might actually stick with some penalties, because cloud chasing and autism isn't a defense. That's not something that's going to get you out of jail for free. But what I think is most interesting about Clav and the way he streams is that in this setup, it is going to lead to more crimes if he continues to have this pattern of streaming and the way that he functions on his streams. And without implementing any other changes, there's definitely going to be more crimes to follow.
I think he's got some growing. He's definitely got a lot of growing to do. All right. Apparently we blew up a bunch of shit in Iran overnight, or somebody did.
An ammunition depot with 2,000-pound bunker buster bombs. The president released.
That's what I'm talking about.
A video on True Social following those strikes, where you can see flames rising from the aftermath of those strikes. The destruction just outside the city of Isfahan, while the U.S. and Israel.
Don't you just love giving Iranians some fireworks, man?
Ramping up pressure on the Islamic Republic, President Trump is still offering Iran a chance at a diplomatic solution.
This remains a truly once-in-a-generation opportunity for the regime to make a good deal with the United States, permanently abandon their nuclear ambitions, and stop acting as the world's leading state sponsor of terrorism. If the Iranians reject this golden opportunity, the greatest military in the history of the world continues to stand by to provide President Trump with.
Say it again for me. Say it again. Say it again for me. I love it when you say it. I love it when you say it like that. Say it for me again.
With the United States, permanently abandon their nuclear for the regime to make a good deal with the world's leading state sponsor of terror history of the world. Can Iranians reject this golden opportunity? The greatest military in the history of the world continues.
That's right. That's right, girl. Say it one more time for me. Say it again.
Good deal with the United States, permanently abandon their nuclear ambitions, and stop acting as the world's leading state sponsor of terrorism. If the Iranians reject this golden opportunity, the greatest military in the history of the world continues to stand by to.
Don't you just love it? Don't you just love it? You see, we have an administration that can stand out on stage while they use cardboard cutouts of a man that they think is still alive. Don't you just love it, guys? I love it. I love America so much.
President Trump with every option available to ensure this regime continues to pay a grave price.
Iran has continued its ballistic missile attacks against Israel, with 2 waves targeting central Israel last night and another 2 cluster munition strikes this morning against Tel Aviv. While Iran goes after Israel, Gulf countries, and U.S. forces, Iranian leadership is trying to keep the public calm as this war escalates.
I have never understood why some firemen do this shit. I have never understood this. I have never been trained to do this. I've never actively wanted to do this, because anytime I had the fire hose in my hand, I always had it at my waist. I would always lock my arm up into it like this. I would always carry it like this. I had way more control over that nozzle like this than if I had it on my shoulder and I went to pull it down. Usually I ended up dropping the bastard, because in those gloves... Actually, you know what? Hold on. Hold on. I still got them. I still got my gloves. Because in these gloves, I can't even make a fist. I can't even make a fist. You see that? Your dexterity just turns into dog shit. Man, look at all the black marks on there, man. I put some good work into these bad boys, man. That you can make a fist, but like this, just trying to push anything is I don't feel, this isn't my finger right here. This is all nothing. This is literally just the tip of the glove. And it's not that the gloves are big. It's where the padding ends right here. This is where the padding starts and ends right here. That's how thick these gloves are. Like, your dexterity is just shit.
Leadership is trying to keep the public calm as this war escalates.
And the effort is ongoing to make sure our people do not have any issues in accessing governmental services, inshallah. The government is at the service of you, dear people, with all its might, in our country, in cities and small towns. We are your servants.
With a focus on Iran, Israel has expanded ground
I don't know if they can, because the problem is that there are better, thinner, heat-resistant materials, but you also have to keep in mind that the material has to be resistant to a lot of carcinogens. It's got to be, to an extent, it has to be able to go through chemical hazards. Like, the suit has to hit a wide variety of shit. It does. And it sucks. But I'd rather hit a wide variety of stuff than for me to, get fucked up even more. You know what I'm saying? Or for that matter, any firefighter that's out there.
Against Hezbollah in southern Lebanon, the military says they've killed dozens of militants in recent days. The IDF announced that 4 additional Israeli soldiers were killed yesterday, bringing the total killed in southern Lebanon since this operation began to 10. On Monday, a funeral was held for one of those soldiers, just 19 years old.
Enough already. Enough of these funerals. Enough of this pain of children who are living and lying here in
there's also that. They're just trying to cheapo out of it. There is that.
The ground. What is the value of all these lives? What is the value of all life? Enough of the wars. Make peace already.
With Operation Epic Fury now in week 5, the Pentagon is scheduled to hold a briefing today at 8 a.m. Eastern Time so the public can learn the latest about this military operation. Guys?
That's right. We will be watching.
Well, they have until Friday. Iran better come to its senses by Friday. Something's about to happen, I guarantee you. Something big's about to happen.
Airing it live.
It's going to be just like the start.
News, so stick around for that.
It's going to be just like what happened 5 weeks ago whenever they took out all those military targets and everything. If they're gearing up and they're sending 5,000 troops over there, however many they sent, something big's about to happen. They're probably going to take that island or something around those means. Something big is about to happen.
Trey Yanks live for us in Tel Aviv. Trey, thank you. Let's bring in Chief Strategist of the Middle East Forum and former U.S. Army Special Forces member Jim Hansen. Jim, good morning to you. The president issued an ultimatum yesterday and laid it out on Truth Social this way, saying if for any reason a deal is not shortly reached, which it probably will be, and if the Strait of Hormuz is not immediately open for business, we will conclude.
We took Maduro with 20. You know, that I still to this day, that Maduro security guard said in his post on X kind of haunts me a little bit, because think about it like this. You're security for Maduro and you're just minding your own business, and then you see this drone come out of nowhere and you hear the buzzing and it looks at you and you look at it and then it flies away and then the lights go out everywhere. You hear people screaming and dying off in the distance. You start coughing up blood and blood starts pouring out of your fucking nose and you can't see. And then this little tiny group of men just drop in out of nowhere. You hear explosions everywhere from the other facilities they're hitting. And then all you can hear is people screaming and all you can hear is the shots being fired and then the end of the screaming. You can't see anything. You're bleeding profusely. You can't move. And you see a couple guys come out of nowhere. They take Maduro and his wife and they leave. And that's the only thing you know that happened. You have no idea about anything else. You don't know how many people died. You saw a couple men reel out of a fucking helicopter. You can't move. Everyone's dying. You hear explosions everywhere. There's no fucking lights. It's like a Predator scenario, bro. Like, hell, that's nightmare fuel. Fuck that. It don't matter how much of a fucking Rambo you think you are. Doesn't matter how many days you decide to hit the gym. It doesn't matter how many times you go and fight Charlie in the field. When you get microwaved and you can't move, and they just walk past you like you're a fucking peon, that style of warfare will absolutely demoralize whole countries. Why do you think Cuba's roaching out?
Stay in Iran by blowing up and completely obliterating all of their electric generating plants, oil wells in Karg Island, which we have purposely not yet touched. Iran is not known for taking these kinds of threats seriously. So do you think that's where we are heading in a week or two, the destruction of Karg Island here?
I think destroying Karg Island is probably not as effective as seizing it or as blockading the exit from the strait through the Gulf of Oman and stopping any ships that may be full of Iranian oil. But it's possible. And I think no one should take the president less than seriously on this. And I've heard people say that, blowing up electricity and the infrastructure like that is somehow a war crime. And that's just absolutely not the case.
Yeah, no different a war crime than them using cluster bombs, right? Sure. Whatever you say.
The IRGC and the regime control all.
You know what the best part about it being called a war crime is that unless you've got somebody to enforce it, it's not really a war crime, is it?
Of the infrastructure.
I wonder who will enforce it that's part of NATO. Who knows?
And they use it first for military purposes and second, and sometimes even less than second, for the use of the Iranian people. So it's legal to do. President Trump has told them it could happen, and it's definitely one of the options on the table.
Yeah, what do you make of Iran's parliament speaker, Jim, who is considered a hardliner? He certainly talks a big game publicly, but then behind the scenes, the president revealed that he's the one that...
That's true. Remember, you're only the bad guy in history if you lose the war. You know why? Because the winner gets to rewrite all the history books. Remember that.
Allowed the ships to pass through the Strait of Hormuz, which the president described as a gift to the United States. So is he somebody that can be reasoned with?
Well, we're trying. The difficulty is that the religious leaders and the IRGC are not just, extremists. They are some of the most extreme people in the world. Their brand of Islam, 12 or Shia Islam, is an apocalyptic death cult that says they need an Armageddon-like event to bring their Mahdi and rule the world. So you have to try and find someone who's not as infected by that as anyone.
Gaming Wade, it's the best you be, gentlemen, and you watch that you say, or Jesus Christ can't save you once. I don't really believe in God like that guy. Sorry, I've seen too many, lived through too many hellish things in my life to sit here and pray to our imaginary friend. I think that there's more than one God. I think that there are too many religions out there to claim that there's one God. Everyone thinks that their religion is supreme and reigns over all. But how could that be if there's so many religions? I've seen too many terrible things in my life, and I've been through too many terrible experiences in my life to get down on my hands and knees and pray. I'm sorry. I used to watch the fellow firefighters that I'd fight fires with do it all the time. They do like this circle thing where they pray to God, and that wasn't really for me. You know why? Because I was the fastest one that could grab the nozzle and put out the fire. That's why. Now, I'm not trying to shit on any particular, religion, but I'm not very religious. I don't know if you can tell. Why I say that, let me tell you why I say that. Because when you have somebody that tries to use your religion, watch what you say or Jesus Christ can't save you, These people don't actually believe that. They're trying to use this to put you down. They're trying to make you stop saying what you're saying. They're trying to, just like what they're trying to do with our Constitution. They're trying to cherry pick things out of your Constitution and tell you what it says. And it doesn't even say what half the things that they're saying. Not even half, like most of the things that these people are saying, it doesn't say. Don't listen to these people. You know what everyone can interpret the Bible in their own way. That's what's so beautiful about religion, is that you can interpret the Bible your own way, or you can go to mass or whatever your religion does and listen to what the person preaching it says. It's your decision. Don't let somebody like this try to use your religion against you, because they'll always win. If they're willing to use your religion against you, they're willing to do anything, including using underage child soldiers that are 12. Don't give that power to these people. They'll abuse it. They always do. Oh, look at the band idiot.
Everyone else. He's one of the people they're talking to, and there are others. You know, they're trying to find someone who's got enough of a following, enough of a hand on the levers of control to actually be able to stop them from continuing this.
Glad you mentioned the Strait of Hormuz. Here's what our Secretary of State Marco Rubio had to say about it. Listen.
Are you consider a plan to ensure full control over the entire Strait?
Well, the Straits of Hormuz will be open. When this operation is over, it will be open, and it'll be open one way or another. It will be open because Iran agrees to abide by international law and not block a commercial waterway, or a coalition of nations from around the world.
No, it'll be over whenever they give unconditional surrender. How about that?
The region, with the participation of the United States, will make sure that it's open. One way or the other, it's going to be open.
But yet, Jim, there's a report in the Wall Street Journal that the president is telling his aides he is willing to end the war without reopening the Strait of Hormuz. What do you make of all this?
I think it would be a less than full success.
Do you have anything to add to this argument other than whatever you're doing? Chinchilla? No, it's probably not. That's why on Friday they're going to bomb it and take the island.
If there is not traffic,
that's what I hope anyway. I want that to happen. I want them to bomb the shit out of the Iran, the IRGC around the island. I want them to take the island and open up the strait by force. That's what I want.
At the end of this. But the goal of this was not to ensure, you know, the full maritime activity. It was to ensure that that Iranian regime did not ever get nuclear weapons. That we're a lot closer to, and they're working on, you know, the last piece of that, which is gathering the enriched material and getting that taken care of. Whether we have to seize it or whether, in whatever kind of a deal we can make with a regime leader, they turn it over.
Ugh, man, there's so many of these schizos in chat today. I'm just gonna permaban people, man. Bye. I'm gonna permaban you because you're being weird too.
To us, that's the number one priority. Everything else is secondary to that.
There's also this, Jim. The FBI has confirmed that the man who crashed his pickup truck into a Michigan synagogue was, in fact, inspired by Hezbollah. Here's the U.S. Attorney for the district, the Eastern District of Michigan.
I've seen some odd attempts to explain away or even lessen this terrorist attack by claiming that he was an isolated lone wolf. But that is misleading.
That's cursed. You're a cursed human being. You should seek help. Filter fish is just... Bro, what is wrong with you? Oh, my God.
Terrorist propaganda.
Well, hold on. If it's done right, it has to be done right. You can't go to a 7-Eleven and get a filter fish, okay? You got to go to like an actual restaurant, not a fast food joint, a restaurant that you know serves it good.
Is designed to activate the so-called lone wolf to act on behalf of the terrorist organization.
What is the terror threat to the United States as this DHS shutdown also drags on?
Yeah, it's reckless beyond belief for the Democrats to continue to keep an agency.
No, it's not. It's as intended. They want this. You know why? Because regardless, they're able to keep the DHS shut down, which is their goal. They want to dismember our Department of Homeland Security. That's their goal. 100%.
That is designed to protect all Americans from operating fully during a time when these kind of threats are active. There is definitely more people who either share the ideology, share a belief, and potentially could be pushed or decide to push themselves towards killing Americans to make a point and, serve a terrorist cause. I think we need to go ahead and be fully active in those investigations and hopefully in arrests before the acts, not to wait until someone does and then be able to put the pieces and connect the dots after the fact.
Yeah, we really do need all hands on deck to target the terrorist propaganda itself, especially online. Make sure it doesn't get into...
see, they even know about it. Everyone knows about it. You're not tricking anybody in America. And trust me, if you trick those people and they're dumb enough to go out there and riot and get themselves shot, then, natural selection. Let's be honest here.
To the minds of people who could be radicalized more than others. Former U.S. Army Special Forces and Chief Strategist of the Middle
Is live in Israel with the very latest. Trey, good morning.
Hey guys, good morning. Just last hour, President Trump issuing a new ultimatum to European countries about the Strait of Hormuz. President Trump taking to Truth Social to say, quote, all of those countries that can't get jet fuel because of the Strait of Hormuz, like the United Kingdom, which refused to get involved in the decapitation of Iran. I have a suggestion for you. Number one, buy from the U.S. We have plenty. And number two, build up some delayed courage. Go to the Strait and just take it. You'll have to start learning how to fight for yourself. The U.S.
That's right, man. They got to start leering. That's right. They got to do it. Because you realize that America's not hurting right now. Every other country around the world that needs that strait to be open, America's still getting its oil. We just got 10 boats that went through this past week. We're still getting our oil. I mean, that's why the president of the United States was like, hey, maybe you guys want to get involved with this. But whenever you don't, and you want to sit here and play these mind games, and you start hurting for fuel, well, anytime you want, bud.
To help you anymore, just like you weren't there for us. The president goes on to say Iran has been essentially decimated. The hard part is done. Go get your own oil. Now, overnight, the United States hit an Iranian ammunition depot, reportedly with 2,000-pound bunker buster bombs. That, according to the Wall Street Journal. The president released some video on Truth Social overnight showing the massive amount of destruction outside the city of Isfahan. While the U.S. and Israel are ramping up pressure on the Islamic Republic, President Trump is still offering Iran a chance at a diplomatic solution. Iran has continued its ballistic missile attacks against Israel with 2 waves targeting central Israel last night and another 2 cluster munitions strikes this morning against Tel Aviv, with a focus on Iran.
I've chewed out people doing this too. You see that? I've chewed people out doing this. When I got the nozzle that I'm trying to use, and they sitting there and they're everyone's taller than me, so and they're up there and all they're doing is pushing that nozzle down. That shit pisses me off. That pisses me off so much. I have yelled at people. I've been like, dude, I'm fucking short. If you don't want to hold that hose the right way, then get the fuck away. Because you're fucking me up. You see how much that angle fucks you up? If I'm trying to shoot something that's up here, well, that's not even going to be an option for me.
Night and another 2 cluster munition strikes this morning against Tel Aviv. With a focus on Iran, Israel has expanded ground operations against Hezbollah in southern Lebanon. The military says dozens of militants were killed there in recent days. And today, Israel's defense minister, Israel Katz, announced that Israel is building a buffer zone in southern Lebanon up to the Litani River. The IDF announced that 4 additional Israeli soldiers were killed yesterday, bringing the total since the Lebanon operation began to 10 killed. On Monday, a funeral was held for one of those soldiers, just 19 years old. Now the region waiting to see what will be said at this briefing at the Pentagon, as once again, President Trump is offering the Iranian regime diplomacy. If they do not take his offer, officials say...
Yeah, weren't they crying and bitching and complaining that America wasn't going to the peace table and that we were the ones being in bad faith? That's interesting, ain't it? Huh. Very interesting.
This war will escalate. Guys?
So, Trey, we saw the attack on the Gulf states and on Israel. But can you compare the number of attacks now as opposed to 1 week ago, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago?
Hold on, give me a second. Hold on. Had to make sure something was going. Hold on. We good now?
The U.S. and Israeli campaign against the Iranian regime has been very successful in going not just after the launching positions of these missiles and drones, as we've seen in new video from U.S. Central Command, but also, importantly, going after the production sites. What President Trump is ordering here is a decapitation not only of Iran's military leadership, but also of their production lines, so that in the future they're not able to threaten U.S. forces or allies across the region. And we have seen those videos of decimation to the Iranian regime. This is a very large country, though, and that is part of the reason that these strikes...
How's it going, Allison?
...continue, often on an hourly basis. And despite the fact that the Iranians can still get off...
California gas is because they want to be their own thing and be stupid. They go through an extra refine. You realize that California's gas doesn't even come through Iran, that Strait of Hormuz, from what I understand. There's only 2 refinement facilities in the entire world that can make the gas that they pump in California. You realize that, right? I remember seeing something about that there's only 2 oil refinements in the entire world that pump the gas that produce the gas that is being pumped in California gas stations. And that's why it's so damn high. Maybe they should use the gas like everybody else and quit being a bunch of rich slobs in that damn state.
Missile fire and drone attacks against Israel and Gulf countries, their ability to do so and to resupply has been destroyed.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube and catch full shows streaming now on
Fox News. Senior strategic analyst, retired General Jack Keane is with us. So I would argue, and I guess liberals would disagree, the president's goals have been clear. They have been
Sorry about that. the refrigerator at this apartment shit the bed, so they're having to replace it. They're going to be coming up soon to replace the refrigerator. I don't have to end early. I just got to make sure that I'm able to hear them so I can let them in so they can exchange that piece of shit.
Consistent. He is ahead of schedule. The president really has never taken anything off the table in terms of what he might be willing to do.
This streamer is brain dead drone repeating whatever he's heard about anything without using crucial thinking to maybe figure out he's being lied to. Sad, really. So, what media, in your opinion, won't lie to you? So, what media should I be trusting if that's the case? Where should I be going for my information? Mr. Unimagun, whatever the fuck that is. Oh, you know, nothing? Come on, man, we ain't got all day. You chirping up a storm just fine. But definitely not billionaire media outlets. But you didn't answer my question. Well, what do you think the fuck you're doing? You're literally using a goalpost. I'm trying to meet you at your goalpost and you just moved it. Is that not literally what you just did? So what media should I be watching? Don't move the goalpost, just answer the question. Again, I'll give you one more chance. What media should I be using? Quit moving the goalpost, because that's what you're doing. I've set the goalpost down. I want to meet you at the goalpost. What media should I be using? No, nothing? I give you until that clock hits 10. Well, there we go. All right, hold on. Do whatever y'all gotta do, man. Okay, we bake. The maintenance is up in here now. They're trying to swap that refrigerator. He posted right as you banned him. Did he? Hold on, where'd he go? You sure about that? The fuck is that? Hey, I don't know about you, but I ain't never seen no fucking media call that on our fucking TV. What is that? That's some kind of foreign propaganda site? What is this shit? The hell's my phone? Hold on. Okay. ZOTO. Oh shit. ZEOTO. Okay, hold on. He's probably gonna get banned anyway. Founded by Mehdi Hassan, ZTO is a movement for media accountability, unfiltered news, and bold opinions. What the fuck? What do you, like, bold opinions is part of their slogan, or their selling point. What the fuck? Bro, if I need to know about the news, I don't give a fuck about someone's opinion. I want to know what the fucking news is. Go check out this fucking... So you... Hold on, wait a minute. I ain't never heard of no one's name like that before. That don't sound American to me. So you want me to go and use some kind of weird fucking newscast I've never heard of on a whim because you think that I've got to disregard 31 years of having Fox in the break room while I'm trying to, relax. What the fuck? If I got to Google... If I have to look for the media source, typically... Nobody gonna use that shit, man. Especially not if you look it up, it's got a name like that, and it's being backed by bold opinions. The fuck?
So really it's come down to the 60% enriched uranium, which I would argue precipitated the...
Well, President Trump taking his crackdown on drugs.
Fox News senior strategic analyst, retired General Jack Keane is with us. So I would argue, and I guess liberals would disagree, the president's goals have been clear. They have been consistent. He is ahead of schedule. The president really has never taken anything off the table in terms of what he might be willing to do. So really it's come down to the 60% enriched uranium, which I would argue precipitated the president's decision, as explained on this program by Steve Witkoff, and probably...
Yeah, you know why? It's not even a YouTube channel. 95% of all news is consumed one of two places. YouTube and Google, which, by the way, if your site is so jacked up that you can't even allow it to be on YouTube, you probably shouldn't be following that site. Which should tell you something, because every other screen in the snippets that we've been seeing off to the side, I've been seeing bodies flung around in the bombs that have been blowing up on Fox News. That should tell you all you need to know. And number two is legacy media. Boomers. Boomers watch legacy media. A lot of older people. If you ain't hitting one of those two markets, you're trying to cater to a bunch of minorities that are usually radicals. You're not trying to push the news, or you're going to say that you're trying to push the news and hold the legacy media accountable, but whenever I see in your slogan that you have to put, based on the United States regulations of media, based on bold opinions, because you know some of the shit you're pushing is fucking straight up lies and you can't be held accountable for it, why would I trust you? Why would I trust you? You want to talk about legacy media? At least legacy media can be sued for defamation when you've got bold opinion as your slogan. Come on, man. Come on.
Opening up the Strait of Hormuz. We have Marines on standby, anywhere between 3,500 and 5,000. Those seem to be the two final objectives. And from my way of thinking, and based on what the President and the Secretary of State are saying, General, it sounds like this thing is going to be well on its way to being over within 2 weeks from now. Am I wrong?
Well, we don't know for sure, John. The reality is this is condition-based. The enemy's got to vote here. There are some things that need to be done, and we're in a challenging phase here because the Iranians are trying to hold on to some of their ballistic missiles and certainly hundreds, if not thousands, of drones, and they're doing everything they can to protect them. So the targets are becoming more challenging to identify, not to take out, but to find and identify. And that makes sense from the Iranians' perspective, so that adds time for us to do that. Certainly, opening the Straits of Hormuz is an operation that we played war games around for years. We know what is required to be done here, and those players are obviously moving into the region. The president has a number of options around that, to be sure, in terms of how we go about doing it. Don't want to get into the details of that for obvious reasons. But nonetheless, our commanders who I speak to are absolutely confident about what we're talking about. Bringing down the remaining missiles, the remaining drones. We're not going to get every one of them, that's for sure, but so they cannot sustain some kind of massive retaliation attack. We will be able to open up the Straits of Hormuz, and not just open it up, but secure it and keep it open. Whatever nuclear capability is left, we will make certain it goes away. Either we take it away or we destroy it.
No, I don't think that's going to solve it. The issue is that there are other mines in Iran that they can just start drilling into the mountains and get more uranium. You need to force regime change onto the current government that is there. You do. That's the only way. Everything other than that is going to be a Band-Aid fix. These people will just get back into power, continue to oppress the Iranians, continue to take their money and keep them in poor living conditions, and then they're going to hate America because they had their chance to completely stop this and they didn't. And anything less than the complete and total unconditional surrender and regime change is unacceptable at this point. It would be all for nothing if they didn't do a regime change.
It's clearly an objective, and the president has plenty of options in terms of the execution of that. So, yes.
If it comes down to annihilation, I mean, we got Japan to submit. What do you think what would have happened if America dropped that second bomb and Japan didn't still submit to America? There'd be a third bomb, and then a fourth bomb, then a fifth bomb, and a sixth bomb, and then there would just be no island left because it'd be under the ocean. Yeah, that's exactly what would have happened.
Doing very well here. We've accomplished a significant amount. Just think of it.
We could have these people in a position where there's nobody left to surrender. Like, there's no head command that is there in like leading everything to surrender. We could also be in that state of affairs where there's literally nobody there and everybody's just kind of doing their own thing at their own bases, launching, missiles and whatever, right? They could be that weak at this point. We don't know. But we do know that this BS that they were pulling a week ago of, well, we're trying to go to the peace talk tables with America and they've been unfaithful, and well, that shit don't work no more because we've been trying to sit down at the table with you for another 2 weeks, and you still just won't do it. Well, I guess the bombs are just going to keep dropping.
We're 30 days into this operation. I mean, because we look at it 24/7, by the minute, by the hour, by the day, it seems so much longer than 30 days. Even if we took another 30 days to accomplish what we set out to do and do that in less than 60 days is not only remarkable, it will be historic. To take away the comprehensive capability that Iran has and once and for all deny them the ability to be the predator that they have been for 47 years. We're on our way to accomplishing all of that. And hats off.
So, Harry Tipton, you do? So you know what's going on in the backdrop? A waffling off nothing, no nothing. You watch the news and repeat the same bullshit they do. Yeah, and man, get at home in a room full of LED lights. DEFO knows how to solve global governmental problems, man. So you've been very opinionated. That's an interesting thing to see. So what you're saying is that nobody knows, so nobody should be talking about it, right? Nobody, not even you, should be criticizing me for talking about it. That's pretty much what you're saying. Well, obviously what I'm saying is pissing you off, third worlder. Why else would you be in my chat saying stuff like this? Are you mad that I'm not going to your false media sites? You crying because Elon banned all your fucking AI-generated videos on Twitter? Is that it? What's the matter? You can't push your fake propaganda to systematically maintain the superior fucking hold over this race of people like the Iran people? So you're just gonna get into some random ass YouTuber's chat at the ass end of YouTube and talk shit? That's all you got, brother? You know the best part about sitting in this chair is that I can make fun of people like you, turn it into content, and make money off of it. I know. Not third world. Not third world. Ah. My friends, we have a propaganda pusher.
Off to the troops out there.
You give the game away, guy. You give the game away.
What they're doing every single day, it is nothing short of a remarkable.
Keep claiming that you're not a third world country, and we'll keep bombing you back to the Stone Age. Ta-ta.
Off to the people that lead them, and particularly for the president, in terms of
getting on the internet's totally helping you guys win the war.
setting this in motion. And let's remind ourselves why. After the 12-day war, Prime Minister Netanyahu and President Trump both came to the judgment, based on very good intelligence, that Iran, as opposed to stepping back after we diminished their nuclear capability, destroyed half of their ballistic missiles, thousands of their drones, decided to recommit and double down and go for more missiles, increase and recover their nuclear program, and began fueling money using different banks to their proxy.
Boys, think about if we win this war, we completely help this race of people, right? They're all chanting Trump, go Trump, hell yeah Trump. They're waving the American flag in that country. They're able to get an administration that's willing to work with America, and we get another massive ally like Japan. And think about all that oil, boys. Think about them gas prices that are going to plummet down. Hell, we might even get so much oil it'll probably be below 99 cents a gallon. Think about that. Wouldn't that be fucking crazy?
Through Istanbul, Turkey. And when they looked at that, they said, this regime's not going to change. We have got
killing terrorists, making fucking coral reefs at the bottom of the ocean, feeding the fishes, and lowering the cost of oil in one administration, boys. Damn, that screams damn good presidential. Damn good president.
Force them to change, and that is why we're doing Epic Fury and Roaring Lion. And and this president and that prime minister came to grips with that, and no one prior has ever confronted the Iranians to the degree that these two leaders are doing. And finally, we're getting close to what you're suggesting. We're going to remove their capabilities once and for all, and all the damage they've been doing for 47 years.
That's right.
One thing we learned, General, is once again the world, the globalist organizations that do the checks and balances.
You think they're jealous that they don't have a president like ours? Sometimes I lay awake at night and I think that. I'm like, man, they must be jealous. They don't have a president like ours that has the biggest pair of balls. May have a little pee-pee, but he got a big old pair of balls. You know what I'm saying?
On Iran had underestimated the range of their ballistic missile system, and it's much further. They have missiles now that could reach Paris and London. We didn't think they had that capability, so that's frustrating to me. You mentioned possibly destroying the 60% enriched uranium. Can that be destroyed? Can that be diluted, or must it be extracted? Obviously, the easy way would be for them to agree to hand it over.
The president has options. I'm going to leave it at that. And he has got plenty of options in front of him what to do with the nuclear enrichment and the other capabilities that they have. In terms of the deal with them, I mean, so our audience understands what we're trying to achieve through diplomacy is what we intend to achieve through military operations. They would have to surrender all of the capability that they have, with verification, anytime, anywhere inspections. At the end of the day, I believe they're not going to do that because that is who they are.
Well, gas prices haven't even shifted here in Texas. California's gas prices have always been outrageous because they're stupid and they don't use normal gas like everybody else in the country. That's a known fact. And Google it. There's only 2 refinement facilities in the entire world that can manufacture or that can refine the gas that they use in California. I have seen maybe a couple cents increase in gas around here, but not much. So that's a lie. And the reason why it's a lie is because you can't, like I said, a third worlder's going to give the game away because they don't live in America. Don't say that right when you have no clue, you have no idea what you're talking about, and that's that. I don't even know what the fuck you're talking about. What are you even on about? Yeah, that's what I thought you have. So now that I brought you up, it sounds like you are a big chirper, huh? So what's your big problem? Do you not like Trump? What's your problem? Yeah, who gives a fuck? If it has to go to $5 a gallon, then that's what it has to go to take out a terrorist regime in a foreign country. So be it. Think about how much money we're gonna be saving whenever it drops to 99 cents a gallon. When we take all that oil and kill a whole bunch of nasty rat-like terrorists in a foreign country. Stop lying. You really don't know what you're talking about. So where am I supposed to get my information from? So what do you know that I don't? Where are you getting your information from? You gonna roach out on us now? I had to pry it out of the other guy. I'm not gonna pry it out of you. So where are you getting your information from? I'll give you until 10:22. It's 10:21. I'm not gonna sit here and burn through the channel time, that's for sure. March in droves because of sleepy auto pan channel activity. No. I keep pulling that guy up by accident. Sorry about that. It really hasn't. It fluctuates. And then, like, there's that also, that other thing. You do realize that gas fluctuates a lot all the time throughout the year, right? That's what it does. That's why most of the signs that you see in America are digital. Because it fluctuates so much that having to go out there every time it fluctuates and flip a damn thing is just not, it's not feasible. So, like, there's also that. So it going up or going down a few cents is natural. No, nothing. Bye.
And
call them up, poke holes in their comments, and fucking completely obliterate them, and they scatter like roaches.
ride this thing out as long as they can personally survive it. They're in this to ride it out, is my judgment here. We'll see what happens here. But the reality is we can accomplish all of the assigned missions, Sean, that the president has given to the commander of Central Command. And how do I know that? Because I've talked to him time and time again about it. And he's in the region right now talking to the troops today as we speak. And
I'm actually sure it'll do the opposite. I'm sure it'll go up even more. I wouldn't be surprised at all. But you know what? I think of it like this. Every dollar that it goes up by, think about the 15,000 emplacements and IRGC members that are dead because of it. Think about the long-term goal of this. This will shatter terrorism for every country in the world, including the U.S. This will completely demolish it. And it will release an entire race of people from their shackles. Freedom ain't free, boys.
About where we are.
It's kind of amazing that you could have the fourth, fifth tier of leadership that didn't learn anything from the dead 3, 4 tiers above them. It's pretty remarkable. But we'll see. Time will tell, and I think it'll get here very quickly. General, thank you for being with us. We appreciate your insight as always. And up next tonight on this busy news night, right here on.
Subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube and catch full show.
Whoops, hold on. Where'd it go? Where'd you go? Ha, band channel. That's funny. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Where'd it go? There's a reason why CEO has been left alone in the comments. Bro, the stuff that you're saying, only a child would say. You're giving your game away, right? That's why you're still here. I see your comments. I've actively been ignoring them. Because everybody in the chat is convinced that you're a child. And you know what? Welcome, token child. I just want you to be aware that if you thought that I didn't see you, American will always have haters. They call them terrorists. No, I think there's a difference whenever you bomb a country and you got a bunch of little rats that live in a multi-million-dollar mansion throwing bombs at police. I think that's a terrorist, guy. I'm fairly certain that's what they would call a terrorist. When they got a lineage back to like a Muslim radical culture, I'm sure that's... Yeah, you can keep saying whatever you want, but at the end of the day, the FBI is going to figure out where these people come from, and they're going to systematically shut them down. Yeah, lineage. Meaning a few people that have been born in America. Yeah. Happens quite a bit. You know what that's called? It's called a terrorist cell. That's what happens whenever you move to a different country with the sole purpose of not assimilating, but to kill Americans whenever it comes time to do it. Yeah. A lineage. The fuck does that even mean? Or at least a child's mindset? You saw it get that. Man, you just built on nothing but bullshit, huh? That's all you got is insults. All you got is insults.
Show streaming now on Fox 1.
Oh, whoops. Hell no, we ain't gonna make that dude a mod.
The FBI says the suspect who ran.
Look at this fucking traitor piece of shit. Look at this traitor piece of
The
shit.
Temple Israel Synagogue in Michigan earlier this month was inspired by Hezbollah, and officials warned.
Oh, look at that. Another terrorist organization. The same terrorist organization that's bombing Israel. For Iran. Huh. Weird. Yet they have no ties to terrorism? Come on, guys. How long are you going to keep using that card?
Lone wolf label is misleading.
I've seen some odd attempts to explain away or even lessen this terrorist attack by claiming
I think that's the wrong person. Hold on. You can look up the footage of them sending back their loved ones in boxes, their body cavity stuff. Why would I can't look at that on YouTube, dumb fuck. What is that even to? Did you know Israel harvested organs for executed? Good. I don't care, dude. Do you really think I fucking care? I don't give a fuck about Israel. You think I give two shits and one fuck about what Israel's doing? I don't give a fuck what Israel's doing. I care about the fact that there's a terrorist organization in a foreign country. You know what we should be doing with the IRGC members? We should be doing the same thing. You know why? Because they're fucking terrorists. This guy that we're watching, we should harvest his ass for organs if he's still alive. You goddamn fucking straight. Who cares? No one fucking cares, man. I don't give a fuck what Israel's doing. Oh, but Israel this. I don't give a fuck about Israel. Fuck Israel. I don't care about your fucking bullshit with Israel, dude. I don't know what your asphyxiation is with Israel. I don't give a fuck about Israel. What is America doing to bomb a bunch of schizo terrorists in a foreign country? I think we're doing a damn good job. That's what I think. We should keep doing it until they're all dead. That's my opinion. Think I give a fuck with Israel? I don't give a fuck about Israel. I'm an American that thinks about America and cares about America. Whenever we've got American soldiers in a foreign fucking country getting killed by a terrorist organization and they're all saying that it's Iran, well, guess who the fuck we should be bombing? Iran. Suck it up, princess. A whole lot more's coming.
that he was an isolated lone wolf, but that is misleading. Terrorist propaganda is designed to activate the so-called lone wolf, to act on behalf of the terrorist organization.
So the FBI also says the suspect made a video before the attack saying he wanted to kill as many of them as I possibly can, meaning Jews. This while the terror threat continues to rise as the DDHS shutdown.
I love being told by a third worlder that thinks that every American has this weird fucking ideology to care about what other people think. I don't fucking care what anybody thinks. Are the terrorists in this one sad? Yeah, you can keep calling us terrorists and we'll keep bombing the actual terrorists. That's right. Trump is sending these soldiers to die for their Epstein class. 3,000 soldiers? 3,000 soldiers! How many soldiers does the United States have? We have 1.34 million soldiers, dumb fuck. That ain't even a fucking percent. 3,000 soldiers? That's adorable. That's funny. That's all you got, man? Sitting here calling me stupid, calling Trump stupid, saying all this dumb shit for what? Oh, but 3,000 soldiers. Okay, we'll send more. They died protecting their country. They did everything they should that they knew was right in their life. W soldiers. That ain't even a drop in the hat. We got not only the active servicemen, we have so many. You guys seem to think that we're fucking around and kidding when we say that Trump's being held back by Israel. Israel would have already bombed your water treatment facilities, your electric power plants, your complete everything. If America leaves, Israel's going to nuke you. You should be praying that we send more to whatever it is the fuck you pray to over there. Because if America leaves this fight, soldiers is the least of y'all's problems. Is if you think that Israel is going to deal with you dumb fucks continuing to launch ICBMs into the heart of their cities, y'all are more brain dead than you sound. That's why y'all scared of Israel. That's why y'all trying to make Americans turn on Israel. But I hate to break it to you, I don't give a fuck about Israel. If Israel's doing the same thing, we'll handle them afterwards. That's my view of it. If they're doing the same thing that Iran's doing right now, then we'll handle their ass after. That's my view of it. I don't give a fuck what you call me. Call me whatever you want. We'll just keep dropping bombs and making change, baby.
Drags on.
God bless America.
Let's bring in former counterterrorism analyst and U.S. Treasury Department person, Jonathan Schanzer. Jonathan, so we have the Hezbollah. We have a guy whose brother was killed over in Lebanon by the Israelis, and this guy with links to Hezbollah. The question is, why didn't we get him ahead of time rather than why didn't we, how do we miss the clues?
Yeah, I mean,
the host is dumbest man I've ever seen. So here you go, because this usually seems to shut everybody up. Okay, let's start from the top. Apparently, I have to do this every day in order to show people that, you know, we gotta rat the retards out, I guess. I'm sorry that we're bombing a race of people that systematically genocide 32,000 people and turn off the internet to hide it whenever they peacefully protest and write Trump's name all over the wall. And because they're starving, because they have no water, because their air, they don't even have clean air to breathe in. I'm sorry that we're bombing an IRGC movement that has systematically killed Americans through proxy using terrorist regimes all over the Middle East. I'm sorry that we're bombing an organization of people that will lock women up and are them in prison, so that way it meets in their religion, they believe that if you don't get married and have you do the deed with a man that you are with, you go to hell. So they systematically are these women in captivity and have prison babies. I'm sorry that we're bombing a race of people that has lowered the age of their draft to 12 years old. I'm sorry that we're bombing a race of people that have systematically committed genocides over the past 47 years. I'm sorry that we are bombing a race of people that have systematically killed Americans through proxy and made Obama send over millions of dollars in planes and then afterwards make the soldiers kiss the terrorists on the forehead as a show of submission. But I'm not really sorry. I think they're getting what they deserve. The Ayatollah died like a dog and he'll rot in hell for the rest of eternity where he belongs. W United States government, W Donald Trump. If you don't like it, then this isn't the channel for you. So fuck off.
I think it's a great question. It turns out the Israelis were able to identify his brother immediately. Ibrahim Ghazali was apparently a senior guy in the Badr unit. These are the guys that are firing missiles and rockets at Israel from the south of Lebanon, where the Israelis are currently widening their war.
The only ignorance I see is for somebody to get stuck on one word and not listen to the rest of the statement. I love people like you. People like you give me a reason to breathe every day. Whoops, wrong thing. People like you make me very happy, because I know that every time you watch the stream, I make money off of an idiot. And it's a beautiful thing. It truly is.
Someone I know who doesn't believe we went to the moon. So I said, what kind of evidence
This video in my playlist is dedicated specifically to you.
Convince you? He said, images of the someone I know who doesn't believe we went to the moon. So I said, what kind of evidence would convince you? He said, images of the landing site of the Apollo missions. So I said, okay, here's a website where we sent an orbiter to the moon so that it was close enough, because ground-based telescopes, they don't have the resolution to see the landing sites. But if you get close enough to the moon, you can. It photographed the entire surface of the moon, and there were the landing sites, and you saw the rover tracks, the base for the lunar module. That night, he went home and found it. Then he came back and says, NASA could have faked that. Well, I'm done with you. We have no more to talk about. Because he's not ready to be convinced.
Look at that. There's one thing that I've learned in life. Never truly argue with stupid people. You don't win that. You just make yourself miserable.
I think it was probably...
You're never going to convince these idiots. They're going to do what they want because there's an incentive for what's happening. Whether it's monetary or religious, there's always an incentive.
Probably popped up on this guy's record as soon as he came to the United States. His family, I think, almost certainly aware of everything that has gone on, what was happening with his brother back in South Lebanon. And
$136 a week streaming for Israel. Fuck Israel. And fuck you. Enjoy your perma, dumbass.
so he was killed about a week before the attack, and this guy apparently spent a week planning this. Curious to learn about who knew what he was doing leading up to that attack.
So interesting, Jonathan. We know his sister knew. Constantly sending videos. We saw the press conference, video after video. After a while, she said, "Stop sending me these videos," but he kept doing it. What responsibility does the sister have to speak up?
Well, that's for the FBI, I think.
No, I don't think you will. I think you're going to get a perma. Where'd you go? There he is. How about not?
To start to dig into right now. Was she actually an accomplice? That's something that the FBI can ascertain just from probably a few hours of conversation with her and looking through emails and phone conversations and the like. So, I mean, I get the sense that this thing is certainly not done. I'm curious about who else in his immediate surroundings knew what he was up to. But again, you had a guy that was living here in this country whose brother.
Well, at least I'm rocking like a baby instead of acting like one, so what's your problem? What's your problem? I love turning these people in. If you're wondering what I'm doing, why I keep pulling these people up, it's because I love turning them into content. See, you're going to get made fun of, and it's going to be great because I'm going to make money off of it. You don't love, you're full of hate. Agreed. Yeah, you're right, I am. You know why? I'm full of hate for an administration that allowed a bunch of people to get bussed in to America while I struggled every single day as a child without food, water, and power. They bussed in these illegals, gave them a place to stay, gave them free health care, gave them food, gave them water, gave them fucking transportation, and gave them a paycheck to boot. Oh yeah, I am. I absolutely am. Why wouldn't I be? Why? Will you think that every American isn't filled with hate? They are. They absolutely are. You think I'm the only one? I love how you have to attack me. You can't attack any of my arguments. That seems to be the theme, that none of these people can attack my arguments. You can just attack how I look, what I'm doing. I'm sorry. I didn't ask to be born with ADD and ADHD. Is that what you want to hear? I can't change that. My mom's dead, dumb fuck. My mom's dead. She's dead. She's buried. She died when I was 19 and I was living in Texas while she was in Louisiana. And you're a fucking retard that's getting banned. Bye. Like, anger to own the chatters 3 mom dead cope. Mom dead cope? How's that a cope? You said that you said when you say where's your mom and I tell you that she's dead, I'm answering a question. Do you not know what a question is, third worlder? Who cares if I'm broke? I'm just gonna ban you. You're retarded. You're actually just stupid. You're just dumb. You're not even worth the argument. You're just dumb. Attacks. Chat attacks, criticize. You're still a weirdo. You're still a weirdo.
Was a senior Hezbollah commander. If you're looking for,
I'm not convinced yet that it's worth being banned, though. I'm just not convinced.
Possible lone
I think
wolf.
you might actually just be trolling. I think he might just be a troll.
If you're looking for a sleeper cell, it's not hard to find.
How about people that say, well, he was grieving because his brother died because of Israel. His brother died because he was a Hezbollah commander shooting rockets into Israel. That's a ridiculous statement.
Yeah, look, I'm sure the guy was grieving, but that doesn't obviously give him an excuse to go out and try to blow up a bunch of toddlers at a preschool in a synagogue. That's insane. That's not an explanation for what just
there's plenty of gaming. Go check out the entire rest of the site. The entire YouTube channel's got plenty of games that I've played in the past.
Happen. Look, there are a lot of, I think a lot of people that have a lot of grievances right now, people who are upset about the war, but you don't see them going out and blowing themselves up and shooting themselves when their attacks fail. This is just an insanity here in the way that it's been described.
Jonathan, just from the outsider, I'm just hoping that We look at other brothers of Hezbollah commanders that might be living here somewhere that we maybe keep an eye on without breaching their privacy. Do you sense that we're doing that?
Yeah,
if y'all new here, sub to the channel. We're here every day streaming from 8 a.m. to 11:30
funding.
a.m.
I'm concerned about the
every day,
FBI
every
getting
day,
pulled in
even
lots
the
of
weekends.
different directions.
Sub to the channel.
From what I understand right now,
like the stream, it helps out with the views, man.
I think we're probably going to need to refocus here. I do think that what happened in West Bloomfield was a wake-up call. I am sure that there are other sleeper cells.
We also have a membership. Feel free to join the membership.
Family members.
You'll get lots of use out of it with the exclusive emotes. Just saying.
Family members of Iranian officials, IRGC officials. This is the time to be vigilant here. We've got a war happening overseas. Tensions are running high. This would be exactly the moment for the FBI and Homeland Security to dig in more. I hope they get the resources that they need.
Jonathan, thanks so much. Me too.
Yeah, W people that are already sub, by the way. W peeps. W to any channel members. I need to start saying that every time I ask for, like, you know, sub to the channel. So W people that are already subbed, y'all are awesome. W to people that always show up. That you can be subbed, but if you're not showing up, the thing is that don't really help me. Gotta watch the streams, man. Watch the streams. Engagement is what gets more views nowadays. Gotta hit the like. At the very least, just leave a comment and a like, and you don't have to watch the rest of it, okay? That's more than enough. W to anyone who in the past has donated. W donators. W channel members, W constant viewers, W people that go to any video and like them, and like, thank all of y'all. Y'all have been tearing it up. YouTube is going crazy.
Appreciate your time tonight.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to...
Now, he left Iran for the UK as a
Video. What the fuck is this?
Jim Hansen, former U.S. Army Special Forces and the chief strategist for the Middle East Forum. All right, Jim, how confident are you that the U.S. could pull off some sort of uranium extraction?
Did you watch this already?
To keep it clear.
Jim Hansen, former U.S. Army Special Forces and the chief strategist for the Middle East Forum. All right, Jim, how confident are you that the U.S. could pull off some sort of uranium
God damn it.
extraction under enemy fire?
We can absolutely.
Wouldn't that be kind of poetic? We go in there, take their uranium, use it to build a bomb, and then drop it on them. I think that shit would be funny.
Do it. And I think I want to tell all the IRGC leadership now who's watching this show that don't doubt President Trump has the resolve to make that call. You know, and I mean, at some level, I have a wish to see. I want the choppers coming in, hitting the beach, you know, blaring Ride of the Valkyrie.
Yo, let's fucking go, bro. This man needs to be our next president.
Goes to Robert Duvall in the lead helicopter and the discombobulator blazing their way to knock everybody out of the way.
That's right.
The problem is from the beach to the places we have to go is almost 500 miles. And that's a heck of a logistical nightmare. It's not quite as simple. It can be done, and we have the capabilities and the people to do it. But I think everyone should be cognizant that's a heavy lift.
It is. And, you know, you don't want to trivialize it like, I'll go and take the uranium, but what kind of close air support, consistent close air support, would an operation like that require deep inside Iranian airspace?
Yeah, I would be less worried that they would send like a reaction force to try and, you know, okay, we go, we surround it, we drop the...
They have to worry about RPGs. They have to worry about like individuals with missile launchers. That's what they have to worry about. It's not necessarily the interception. It's the ground people, what they have.
They surround the compound, you know, the SEALs, Delta, whoever, the Rangers, everybody go in and start, you know, searching the compound. But they're not going to send a force to try and fight that because they know we have air supremacy. We'll kill anybody who comes. But they can send drone swarms and all of that. And what those guys won't have
dude, I keep forgetting about the drone swarms. Them drone swarms, man.
A lot of is air defense. So that's the big weakness, is it's hard to defend against a bunch of drones, and we might have to try and find a way to bring in some air defense with them to keep it clear long enough to actually do what needs to be done, find that stuff, get it on a bird, and get out of there.
So is there risk for fallout? I'm not a nuclear physicist, but if the Iranians
How's it going, Bubba?
I don't know, just lobbing everything they have at these two remaining nuke sites, is that crazy town?
Well, as Secretary Rubio said, this is an apocalyptic death cult. You know, the 12er Shia Islam believes they need that Armageddon-like event to bring back their Mahdi and rule the world. So you can't...
What the fuck? I didn't know that. Wait a minute. So that's why they were like, what?
This is an apocalyptic death cult. You know, the 12er Shia Islam believes they need that Armageddon-like event to bring back their Mahdi.
Well, it's no fucking shit they were going to use those goddamn nukes. What the fuck?
Rule the world. So you can't say they won't do it. And if they somehow manage to hit or do that, you've got the equivalent of a dirty bomb. All our guys would be in deep trouble. But again, you know, that's a nightmare scenario if it happens. Better case scenario is we get a tip. You know, and either Mossad or the CIA turn somebody or buy somebody and they tell us exactly where it is and maybe even bring it out for us. You know, there's a lot of ways this could go. I think there are better ways than a raid, but no one should ever doubt that if it comes down to it, President Trump's going to get that job done.
Yeah, I think the raid, obviously, you're right, is the last option. What have you heard about the discombobulator? Because I hadn't heard anything in that much detail since Halpern said it made everybody yak.
You know, there's a lot of directed energy weapons that we've had for a while, and we've tested them. There's some that can make you feel heat. You know, there's sound waves that can make you just freak out and discombobulate you. What exactly they're using and what was used in Venezuela has not been publicly announced. It's just one of those things that we have that makes it a big advantage, because when you...
That's the key thing right there, one of those things. We got shit you wouldn't even believe, boys. I promise you.
Are going into a place where the enemy knows where you're coming, you don't want to lead with your face. You know, that's a cardinal rule of door-kicking operations. Yeah. Have something in front of you for that. So that's why you throw flashbangs in a room. This is a directed energy flashbang to blow everybody's mind and hopefully get our guys in and safely back out.
Yeah, I learned that in boxing. Never lead with your face, Jim. The Iranian regime, what's left of it, do you think they are capable of withstanding another 2-week aerial pounding, or will it take some sort of lightning-fast ground operation on Karg, on an island, on the Strait, to really force their hand?
You know what should happen with those Iranian facilities that are making that enriching that uranium? I don't think they should take it. I think they should blow it up. What does a dirty bomb do whenever it explodes? It emits high levels of radiation. That's what we should do. We should blow it up. Make the site completely unusable for 100 years. That's what we should do. Or we should take the compound and then blow it up. Make it radiate. Make it heavily radiate.
I think leverage is needed. You know, we've bombed so much that we either need to turn up the volume on what we're bombing, you know, turn it to 11 on the targets.
Damn, #1 membership. WCEOC, that's why I kept him around. You see that? He's never going to admit it, but he likes being here.
Or to do something that causes them potentially
W membership. Damage.
Their economy is a shambles. And
oh, damn, Andy gifted a membership. W.
Karg Island, they're toast. So whether you go and seize it or whether you just blockade and say any ship that tanks up at Karg Island, thank you for that, we'll take your oil, as President Trump mentioned. You know, any of those
Hell
are
yeah.
gonna put the pressure on them. And I think one of those things is going to be needed to push them over the edge.
And you see the next couple weeks as being basically the fourth quarter?
Yeah, we're coming to the end, you know, and President Trump said
we have to have a dedicated hater. We have to, you know, it's just natural for every channel.
6 weeks, we have done our target list is down into smaller. We're going to have 3 digits now left on the target list, and they're ready to go ahead and move to the next step, which is finishing off, opening up the Strait of Hormuz to traffic, taking care of the uranium, and then figuring out who is going to be in charge to hopefully.
I think that the IRGC needs to leave, disarm, and leave completely, or turn themselves into the Iranian people. I'm sure that the Iranian people will probably execute all of them. I can almost guarantee it. And then once that's done, they need to allow the exiled prince to retake his throne. That's what should happen here. The prince has been the only one that has gotten on media and given statements about everything that's happening. I feel like the prince is probably the only one that should rightfully be ruling over Iran.
Lead Iran to a more prosperous future.
All right, Jim, great to talk to you as always. Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox.
The president just can't keep signing presidential memorandums and proclamations every time Congress fails to do its job, and every time Democrats are holding our entire country hostage, picking and choosing which programs and agencies they want to fund just because they don't like this administration's policies. The president is also encouraging Congress to come back to Washington to permanently fix this problem and to fund.
That's crazy to me. It is insane to me that the president of the United States has to call these useless fucks away from their little vacation to come and fix this fucking country. Are you kidding me? Hello? Why the fuck are we tolerating this shit?
And reopened the Department of
And
Homeland
you want to
Security.
convince me that what they're doing in Congress is working? Hello?
Entirely.
So most of America's CSA workers finally getting their paychecks again after more than 40 days as Democrats still refuse to back a bill ending the longest DHS shutdown in American history. Before leaving town on vacation, House Speaker Mike Johnson joins us now. Mr. Speaker, thank you so much for joining Fox and Friends. It is rare that I see you raise the octaves of your voice on Capitol Hill. But when you found out that they weren't going to fund ICE or Border Patrol, you seemed furious. The question is, why did everyone leave town?
Well, they sent the bill in the dead of night. It was about a 2:30 a.m. vote, and it came to us right before everyone was scheduled to go home. We passed the bill, the full funding bill, a CR, for 8 weeks, clean, nonpartisan, no tricks on that at all, just to keep the whole Department of Homeland Security funded for 8 weeks so the parties can work out the differences. We thought that would be passed by unanimous consent on Monday.
So they didn't vote the bill through, and then they left for what?
It didn't happen in the Senate, and so we've got a dilemma. The outrage, and the reason we were so upset, Lawrence, is because they sent us a bill that literally put the number 0 in the bill for the funding of border security and customs and immigration enforcement. We can't do that. That was the biggest issue in the 2024 election, and
That's
it's outrageous to us. Just in those two agencies.
Think about that. You got a group of people that, even though they lost the election, are still trying to make the funding for the border 0. They're disregarding what the president of the United States got elected for, simply to keep the entire government hostage because they don't like that their voter base is being exported. This is crazy. This is
CBP
crazy.
and ICE. You're talking about 98,000 hardworking Americans, self-sacrificing people who have to pay their mortgages and put food on the table. They wanted to zero them out. We cannot be a part of that. So we're calling on everybody. Look, the House members are in their districts working right now.
So, the president of the United States was up for election, and Donald Trump won. The Democrats lost. Do you not know how Americans do their diplomacy? Do you understand what a vote is? Oh, imagine being a banned idiot for being an idiot. So back to my original question. What does that have to do with Congress? Holy fucking shit. If the President of the United States was elected by overwhelming majority, an electoral college, what do you think the majority of Americans want that the Democrats that are voting, that are trying to pass a bill with zero towards border control and $0 to the federal ICE agents? Do you really like? I don't even want to engage with this. I just don't want to engage with this. I just don't want to engage with it.
We can bring it back on a moment's
I can't
notice
even
for
with
a
that.
vote. The
I
Senate
can't.
has to do their job and help us on this.
There's nothing you're going to tell that individual that she or they want to hear. Bye-bye. If you don't like the channel, no one's holding a gun to your head and saying, stay. Leave. Just leave.
To give the government funding.
You're not going to bully me off the platform. I'm going to pull you up and make you look like a dumbass. Like, come on.
Real people's lives.
Use your brain. And I'm the brain dead one. Like, come on.
Delta is. And this is what the CEO is saying. Watch.
Well, given the lack of leadership that we've seen coming from our elected officials, the fact that we would continue to extend courtesy opportunities for them to bypass the mess that they've created, we want to make sure they understand what they're, and stand in line just like everybody else. We let their offices know ahead of time, and I think they understand why we had to do what we did.
How long will the pause continue for those perks?
At a minimum, until everything is back and running.
Damn, so they paused the perks that they would have. Woo!
Normally, the workers are paid, and at that point, we'll decide whether we continue it.
I got to be honest, Mr. Speaker, I don't think they deserve the perks.
No.
All the airlines should follow suit. Right. Why do we have to wait in the line for 5 hours and they get to go to the front of the line?
I agree 100%. The airlines are right. I mean, there are some occasions where members of Congress get escorted around for security reasons at heightened threat environments and all that kind of stuff. But my members don't do that. They don't skip the line. They're crazy. They represent their constituents. So if anybody's been taking advantage of a perk like that, bad look, obviously. Congress has to do its job. The first function, the first responsibility of government, Lawrence, is to make sure that we're keeping the homeland safe. And the Democrats have shown over and over they value the protection of criminal illegal aliens over the protection of American citizens, and Republicans can have no part of that.
When does this end?
Soon, I hope. We have to get the government operating again. As I said, I can call the House members back for a vote as soon as we get something worked out with the Senate. Obviously, we're working on this around the clock. I was up until almost midnight last night having conversations with senators to get this done. But it's a shame. It looks like...
It's just crazy to me that these people are trying to hold the TSA hostage. The Department of Homeland Security funds TSA. You do realize that what they want... So they're holding it hostage, and they want to defund the Department of Homeland Security, which, by the way, ties into TSA. So these people are at a catch-22 with what they want. They want to defund the Department of Homeland Security, and they also want to hold the TSA hostage so that way they can do what they want. Like, it just makes no sense. So either way, it's a lose-lose. Well, then why the hell would we give you what you want? Why don't we just keep doing what we're doing if it's going to be this way either way? It makes no sense.
We have to do the heavy lift on our own, Republicans, because the Democrats they're obstructionists at this point, and it's really sad.
No, it's really sad for the American people. I want to talk about some good news because a lot of Americans were promised no tax on tips. They got that in the big, beautiful bill. You had the opportunity to go out there, meet with some Uber drivers, and this is what they had to say. Watch.
Hey, how are you, Mr. Johnson?
Good.
I have your delivery right here.
Fantastic.
What was amazing was when I did my tax return this year.
All right, only 3 major party presidential nominees in American history have not been straight, white, Christian men. They were Barack Obama, Hillary Clinton, Kamala Harris. All 3 Democrats. And, of course, 2 of them were candidates that lost to Donald J. Trump. Now, some Democrats reportedly want to reverse course.
No, they need to put Pam Bondi in jail. Her administration overseeing the Epstein files was a complete and total shipwreck. She needs to go to jail. Somebody else needs to take over and release those files the way they should be released. That's what needs to happen to Pam Bondi. She still hasn't addressed all the issues with the Epstein files. You need to go through, scrub everything. Well, not scrub everything, but make sure that everything is good to release that doesn't show a victim's face. And everyone that is could be condoned in that needs to be held accountable for it. If you did something that you shouldn't have been doing in those Epstein files, you need to immediately be arrested.
They want to go
no
after,
ands, ifs, or buts.
They want a straight, white Christian male to be their nominee in 2028. The only person that can give us fair reaction to this, ESPN's First Take podcast star, friend of the show, Stephen A. Smith. By the way, first of all, my first observation, wasn't Tim Wall's pick because he was going to relate to dudes and men and be the masculine candidate on the ticket? That's number one. And how much crap...
I hope you're not attributing something like that to me. I certainly never said that. I can tell you that much. That's number one. Number two, I was on the record on this show.
I don't care what color, race, or religion that person is. If they're trying to advocate for universal health care, universal basic income, they're trying to make sure veterans don't have to struggle with anything they need for as long as they live. If they keep the borders down, shut down, and keep ICE agents heavily funded and make sure they don't defund the DHS, as far as I'm concerned, that's the bar. Any one of those, any number of those together, I'm all for.
You the selection should have been Josh Shapiro. She made a huge mistake by not picking the Pennsylvania governor as her running candidate. And number three, I'm very impressed. You usually don't wear white shirts. I'm proud of you. You're diversifying your wardrobe.
You want universal basic income because what's taking all the jobs right now? Robots. AI. What you gonna do whenever that Amazon worker that used to be a person is now a robot, whether you like it or not? These jobs are coming to an end a lot faster than we thought. You've got self-checkouts in stores. There are some stores that are fast food chains that are completely automated with no people involved whatsoever. There are Amazon facilities that have no people in it whatsoever. AI is taking every artist's job right now. They are telling these artists that you will use this AI program, it's going to get you fired. And if you won't do it, we're going to hire somebody who will, and you're still going to get fired. Whether you like it or not, this whole mentality of get a job and make a living, that's coming to an end. These corporations will not keep your job on life support to maintain your living. It's going to happen. And there's not going to be a goddamn thing that the average Joe is going to do about it other than rally legislation together to make sure we're ready for that time.
Way to go. About time.
Wait a minute. I got the memo. You did this. What is it like to hang out with me? Promotion for me, and on it you said I dressed terribly. So I figured you're on the show tonight. I might as well get all dressed.
Music artists as well. They are. You know what the top artists are right now? AI. Same thing with YouTube. Yeah. You know why people are going to turn to AI to make music? I can spend 50 hours making a music video, or I can put a beat that I think might be good into an AI algorithm system, and it's gonna pump me out some beats that I could put online that are gonna get way more views than however long it took me to. It took me in 50 hours, in 5 minutes. Yeah, absolutely. That's exactly what's gonna happen. It's already happening. AI music has already topped the charts on places like Spotify. It's already happening. You can't even say that it's not. It's already happening. We had an epidemic there for a little bit where AI videos and AI shorts were topping charts on YouTube. It's already happening.
Up for you. All right. When you were on my podcast, you said your choices for 2028.
Exactly. That's why you want UBI. You want a universal basic income. And to an extent, you want free housing too. You do. Oh, well, I get an UBI. Yeah, but it's all going towards rent. How are you going to afford to eat? Whether we like it or not, this is our future. This whole mentality of you need a job to do this and that, that's going to die quick whenever there are no jobs. It's going to die. It's going to happen quick,
Josh Shapiro, Westmore, one or two, doesn't matter which one, or your third choice over Kamala, over Newsom, over any other Democrat would be Marco Rubio. I need a follow-up. How much crap did you get for that? That went viral.
I'm sure I got crap for it. I mean, a lot of people coming after me for that. I don't give a damn. I feel what I feel. I say what I say. I mean what I mean. Marco Rubio's the adult in the room. I think he's incredibly qualified. Obviously, he's been a senator for a long time before he became the Secretary of State, and obviously the National Security Advisor to the President of the United States. He knows what he's talking about. He knows Capitol Hill. He knows the people, and he's not running up against somebody like me in all honesty. So because of that, you know what? I think that he would be a prime candidate considering the candidates that the Democrats will roll out there. If it's not somebody like Josh Shapiro, I don't see how it's going to happen because I don't see anybody else in the Democratic Party in line to go up against him.
Why do you think so highly of yourself that you think if you ran, you'd win the nomination? Why do you believe that? It looks like Hillary's going to New Hampshire. It looks like Kamala wants in. Gavin thinks it's his already. What makes you think you'd win?
First of all, I'm not qualified, not by a long shot. I'm speaking about it as an indictment against the Democratic Party, not to big up myself. The fact is it's leaderless, it's rudderless, and it has been that way for a very, very long time because of the things that happened with Joe Biden, because of the lies that were told to protect him and shield him and the Democratic Party from the kind of things that was going on during that administration. It came back to bite them, particularly with the election. We all know this to be true. And since that time, they've been up in flux. You know, the Democrats all over the place recognize the fact that there needs to be somebody capable of stepping up to be a leader. That person has been trying to be a Gavin Newsom, who's decided that governing something else needed to be just as much, if not more of a priority, and that's trolling Trump and trying to beat Trump in his own game. I don't believe that's going to work. A guy like Bashir out of Kentucky, could he resonate? That's a legitimate question mark right there. I think the person that could potentially resonate is Josh Shapiro, but he's got some things going up against it because, as you articulated and lamented on many, many occasions, you have an abundance of people out there that are engaging in anti-Semitism, whether it's with their rhetoric and simply that, or with their actions, or the combination of both.
It is going to get worse, too. The more that these people keep getting imported into our country, the more, I hate to break it to you, but racism is definitely on a rise. And it's not even towards like a specific race, it's towards like a culture, culturalism. It's these people that are coming to America trying to effectively be a cancer in the country and take all the money and change the areas that they move to. Like we saw, we reacted to a couple videos last month of this group of people that moved in, built a church, and have megaphones blasting into a neighborhood of Islamic or Muslim religious stuff. And they sent a news crew there talking about, and the individual people there were talking about how annoying it was because it would blast at like 1 and 2 in the morning. Like, what the fuck? That's annoying as shit.
And him being Jewish obviously could be problematic.
Now, could you imagine you've been living in a neighborhood for 47 years, and now you've got to deal with this weird fucking religious propaganda being blasted in a megaphone on a building at 2:30 in the morning next to your fucking house? That's annoying as shit.
For him, if he was running for the presidency of the United States of America, I still think he's very qualified. I think he's done a good job with the state of Pennsylvania, and I think he's somebody that should be strongly considered.
That speaks volumes about the Democratic Party, doesn't it? That, you know, there's such a strain of virulent anti-Semitism. All right, let me move on. I've always been a fan of Tiger Woods, one of the greatest golfers of all time, if not the.
Look at it this way. Whenever they were breaking down the border and they were allowing all these people to come in, they didn't believe in humane, righteous, or anything that has to do with immigration reform. You know what they did? They just let a bunch of people into our country to flood the country. They didn't seem to give two shits and one fuck whenever they were allowing that. And you know what's even crazier is that they set up systems that got people that were driving 18-wheelers, it got them in behind the wheel of 18-wheelers where they were killing people on the roadways. And then they kept, then you had all these murderers that kept killing people and then getting put in jail and then released back into the public. So at what point do you stop trying to play the same game they are? Because whenever you stop and realize that that game's rigged for you to fail, is whenever it's going to click for you. Well, they're illegal, so they can't get a license. Well, then why do I see a piece of paper that Tim Walz signed allowing anybody in the state of Minnesota to get a license? Why do I hear that all these truckers that are getting Americans killed are from California? You keep playing a game that's built for you to fail, you're going to fail. Don't play their game. Stoop to their level. Go lower. Hit them where it hurts.
Added another entry to his long list of motor vehicle accidents last week. A lot of people asking a simple question. Why doesn't Tiger have a driver? By the way, I don't have a problem with the fact that Tiger, with all the injuries,
and now they're trying to defund the Department of Homeland Security, and they're holding American jobs hostage. That's what they're doing right now as we speak. They want the Department of Homeland Security and Border Security to receive zero funding. You cannot play these people's games. They will systematically kill as many Americans as they can to suit their goal. You cannot do that.
All the back operations and the accident that nearly, ended up with him not walking again. I have no doubt he has chronic pain issues.
I agree. No, I agree with you. What we're doing right now is a Band-Aid. You know how you start holding people accountable? Like that Toyota plant that got shut down with all those illegals that were working in it? You go there, and you talk to everybody, including the chairman, and you make damn sure you completely debank these people. You check all their information, you take their cell phone, you check all their records. If they knew they hired an illegal, immediately charge them with human trafficking and put them in jail for the maximum sentence. Hold these companies 100% accountable.
Medical issues that he has to deal with that requires strong medication. However, according to People magazine,
shut down the border, mobilize the United States military, mobilize the National Guard, shelter in place every person in every city across the country, systematically go through, snatch up all the illegals and all the criminals, deport the illegals, debank them, and deport them, and take all these criminals and put them in jail like work camps. That's what we need to do. You do that, this entire country will be an absolute fucking paradise.
He's a private person, doesn't want anyone knowing.
The cost of housing would go down. The cost of food would go down because of supply and demand. You'd be able to go to a fucking water park or the airport and not have to wait in a line that stretches all the way back to Indiana. This place would be a fucking paradise.
Where he is, what he's doing. Apparently,
we would be able to have Medicaid, Medicare, Social Security, and welfare by the time you retire. Shit.
Stay home rather than go out in public anyway. Okay, if he's going to go out, why doesn't he have a driver? That's the part that makes no sense to me.
Well, it's also the part that's unforgivable. See, we can have compassion for him when you look at the fact that he's had.
Yeah, but we won't have those things much longer. Whenever we're importing a race of people that aren't putting money back into the taxpayer system. If all you have is a race of people that get imported that are taking from welfare systems, but they don't work a job in order to pay taxes on those welfare systems, you are systematically going to run out of money and bankrupt the social systems. That's what's going to happen.
chronic back. I remember in a 3-year period, Sean, he had like 4 back surgeries. 4 back surgeries between 2014 and 2017. And since that time,
when you take more out of the pot than you put in, you're going to run out of food. That's what's going to happen.
The aftermath of that was just a few weeks after he had spinal fusion surgery was when he got into that accident in service. And if your privacy is that important, I got news for you. I use cars.
Why we talk about that? Why we talk about that? Hold on. I don't care about that. Ooh, here we go. What's this?
All right, we'll get you to this. More on the war.
But if Iran is wise, they will cut a deal. President Trump doesn't bluff.
All right, we'll get you to this. More on the war.
But if Iran is wise, they will cut a deal. President Trump doesn't bluff, and he does not back down. President
That's just what he said. This dude doesn't know how money work and systems stick to gaming. Well, how dumb do you have to be to not realize that if you don't pay Social Security and all you do is take Social Security and you do that a couple thousand repetitions, you're going to run out of money. I had some dumbass tell me a couple weeks ago, just print more money. And that's the reason why some countries that you need like $1 billion just to get a loaf of bread. Please don't tell me you're one of those people, right? And on. Well, there you go.
Trump will make a deal. He is willing. And the terms of the deal are known to them. If Iran is not willing, then the United States War Department will
printing more money is a fucking terrible thing. Do not
continue with even more intensity.
President Trump still pushing for diplomacy with Iran, citing negotiations with the country's parliamentary speaker. That Iranian official is now pushing back. Back and denying.
Brother, you ain't worth the pot to piss in or the wind to throw it out in. Bye-bye.
Talks with the U.S. So joining us now is anchor of Special Report, Brett Baer, who might be able to give us a little bit more detail. Over to you, sir.
Hey, Bill and Dana, good morning. I talked to President Trump late last night. He says these negotiations are continuing. They are starting. They are, he says there's progress being made, but they are plowing forward with their targets. He thinks Iran should make a deal. I had the Pakistani ambassador on last night on Special Report. They are trying to facilitate and host
Why are you bitching about immigrants not paying taxes when most of them are impoverished? Make more sense to tax billionaires instead of fear mongering. Okay, yeah, you're right. And then while we're at it, we can still get rid of the illegals. How about that? What if we taxed rich people more and still got rid of the illegals? That sounds like a benefit in both. Shit. Say less. I don't see anything wrong with either one of those. I like both of those. You should stick around. I like that. I mean, the whole fear-mongering immigrants, illegals, is a bit on the weird side, but yeah. I mean, shit.
these talks.
I can deal with that.
and I was trying to nail him down about who they're talking to and what the process is. He didn't say it on the interview, but afterwards said it has been very difficult because there is confusion on the ground in Iran about who holds
Well, rich people provide jobs currently. I'm sure whenever they're able to get a robot to do it better, well, they're not going to be providing shit other than like whatever they're producing.
Power, who has the juice to make the deal. The president told me last night that they are talking, yet there is obviously missiles. There are missiles still being fired. There was a tanker. Attacked last night in the Strait of Hormuz. There is some frustration in the administration and from the president directly that other allies are not jumping in on this coalition to protect the strait. So I expect to see some developments on that front in coming days. But in the meantime, they're still going to take out targets and still going to try to talk.
It was about 4 hours ago. He put out a truth, essentially said, learn how to fight. Talking to our partners in Europe, assuming. In the meantime, with regard to your conversation with the ambassador from Pakistan, it appeared after the Israelis took out the Hamas leadership in Gaza that they too had a very difficult time trying to communicate messages.
I don't know what that does. I don't know what the flowers and the jewels does. I have no idea what that does on YouTube. I don't think that equates to money. I don't know what that is. I've seen that pop up a few times, and I have no idea what it does.
Is that we're
if you're new here, sub to the channel. We're here every day, 8 a.m. to 11:30 a.m.
The 20 million people
like the stream. It helps out with the views.
Trying to live in Gaza. And there's just a parallel situation now, Brett. I don't know which way that is resolved, by way of the State Department or otherwise, but I don't know if that came up in your conversation.
Well, it did. And there is a communication issue on the ground, as you can imagine. The IRGC being taken out time and again by both Israeli and U.S. strikes. The command and control centers being taken out.
All right, let me know what you find out.
To communicate with different
I don't know what it is.
The Navy and the Air Force largely taken out. So the strategic strikes, and you look at all the people who have been taken out leadership-wise, you can imagine the shuffle to say, okay, who's now got the ball? Who is holding the baton to make the deal? And I think
you're talking to somebody, aren't you? You're calling somebody out. I bet you're calling somebody out. And you're right. Whenever corporations start firing people, you're going to need some form of universal basic income. You are. And you're going to get that by taking, you're going to get that by taking away from the rich. That's just all there is to it. Like having a robot tax or some form of, like, the system is going to be dead. You're not going to have the movement of money. Nobody's going to be doing anything. Like, there's not going to be any jobs. There's going to have to be some form of money movement. There is, in order for the economy to even remotely stay the same. Like, you can't just fire everybody and not expect some form of money movement if you're hoarding all the money at the top. You're not going to make any more money. It's going to be over.
I think that's part of the issue that they're seeing on the ground.
It's interesting, too, because when you look at that, all those characters that we just showed you, the eliminated ones, they're all of the same generation.
If you guys want to, and I say do this all the time, if you guys want to call somebody out in chat, that if y'all are new here and y'all don't know, if y'all want to call somebody out that's saying something weird or dumb, just use the @ and their username. Like, you can even copy and paste their name and then ask them a question. I want y'all to do that. I love seeing that, because if we can poke as many holes as we can in these people's arguments, they run like roaches because it falls apart. Like, Ask them questions. Don't call them names. That's my job. Just ask them questions.
I want to play for you from Congressman Jim Himes.
You'll see how quickly they either roach out and stop messaging, or they just try to attack you or me or some other form of anything other than the conversation.
He believes
see
that
it
the
for
president
yourself.
is not telling the truth about talks.
And it also helps me figure out who certain people are talking to. So there's that.
Oh, I think he's flat out lying. Last Sunday when he was told, and by the way, we're in exactly the same position today, oil prices now $112 a barrel and, futures in the stock market down 2%. Last Sunday, he realized, oh my God, I've got a financial cataclysm on Monday. So he just made it up that they're in.
If y'all want good commentary and the actual input to the subjects, go watch Asmongold. He's just trying to act edgy, but it's dull. I react to Asmongold. I haven't been able to lately. You know why? He's not posting political stuff right now. I don't know why. I always watch Asmongold on here. I always start in the morning with IGN on PlayStation gaming trailers. I move into Asmongold, and then I usually finish up with some nice Fox News and then a body cam footage of Midwest Safety. Y'all should go watch Asmongold. He's on Twitch every day from probably 12 to about 9 p.m. Y'all should. I absolutely recommend Asmongold. He's an absolute beast mode legend. And he's paving the way for Americans.
Negotiations with the Iranians.
You talked to the president. You were just talking about in the talk.
Bro didn't realize he was preaching to the choir, I guess.
I'm curious about
Must be new.
He might respond, how the president might respond to that, but also about the politics of how all of this is going.
Yeah, well, first of all, the president insists it's happening. Steve Witkoff insists it's happening. Jared Kushner insists it's happening. I think you can say it's happening on some level. Whether the
You don't believe successful people should subsidize for the poor. So, I hate to break it to you, but once you hit $100,000 a month, well, hold on, wait a minute. No. If you're hitting more than $10,000 a month, you're never going to spend that money. You're not. You know what's going to happen to that money? It's going to sit in a bank somewhere and do fuck all. That's what's going to happen to that money. You can get a decently sized house. You can get a nice car. You can afford most of your bills for $5,000, maybe $7,000, about $7,000 a month. When you start making so much money that you can't even spend it all, and you're paying like triple figures or seven figures in taxes, and you're not even touching that amount of wealth, maybe you should be paying more. Asmon says it all the time. He's like, I pay seven figures in taxes. He wants it to be more. But he doesn't want his tax money to go to stupid shit. Like sending money to Iran to subsidize their terrorism. What are you going to do with all that money? You ain't going to do a goddamn thing with it. It's going to sit there and do nothing. What's the point in that?
person they're dealing with, and it was the head of the parliament that he confirmed the other day, has the power to speak for the IRGC and the other leadership. We don't even know the status of the Ayatollah, the new one, and we hear multiple reports about him. I think there's just a real question about communication. And as far as timeline, I know that there's a sense that they're hoping that the 4 weeks, 6 weeks is in the timeline of wrapping this thing up.
Oh man, battery pieces are skyrocketing since Trump bombed Iran. I don't care. Battery prices? Battery prices? Bro, what third world you from? Another Vietnam. I want to see ICE face the non-white population that is flexing their 2A rights. Sounding very socialist. Grown-ass men storming daycare centers. Oh, yeah, you a third worlder. What country you from? Where you from? You from, what shithole you from? What shithole you from? American troops, Kurds, Afghan. Oh, you've been here for a minute. How the hell you keep getting through the cracks? Whatever. Bye. I just don't even want to engage with it. I just don't. Bye, dumbass.
But Iran's regime is not going to go quietly into the
Another banned moron, I guess. Who'd have thought?
And I think that there is a concern in the Gulf Arab allies, especially, that the U.S. picks up and goes, and suddenly they're holding the bag at the end.
Yeah. Just one last thing here. I was talking with Dana this before the sun came up this morning. There was a note that went out by the RGC globally that they had taken out 200 U.S. service members in the Gulf states, and there's nothing to verify.
Bro, we own that straight, man. Woo, we gonna be paying like nothing in gas, bro.
Down at all to even suggest that they were close. Apparently, they said they hit an Israeli vessel. Just not true. At other times, they put out things that do turn out to be true. But when it comes to this question as the central command and leadership in Iran today, you wonder, and Pete Hegseth has said in the last 24 hours that the fewest number of missiles have been launched from Iran since the start of the war 30 days ago. How many of these are taking a command? And how many of these are lone wolves?
You know why people take me seriously? I'm just gonna hide you because you're fucking stupid. Where'd he go? Believe people will take you seriously when you say, what shithole you from? Yeah, what shithole are you from? What country of filled with terrorists are you trying to advocate for? Yeah, that's right. Whenever you can't keep the power on, whenever you can't keep running water going through your country, whenever you want to send all of the money that you get to a terrorist organization, instead of using it to build up schools that aren't near military bases, when you use people, whenever you have to make a press conference in the middle of a parades because you're too scared of being bombed by the United States, when you have to use a cardboard cutout and you're too much of a coward to step out of your little bunker because you know America's going to shove a missile up your ass, yeah, I'd classify that place as a shithole. Yeah, that's pretty accurate. People watch me because I'm transparent. I'm not going to sit here and feed them fake bullshit. And I'm pretty quick to apologize if something I find out is fake or didn't happen. It happens. That's what happens when you cover media. Happens all the time. Yeah, they watch me because I don't have to sit here and lie to push a narrative. I just tell them the truth, come to my own conclusion, let them go and find the truth themselves as well. You'd be surprised how well that works. I don't have to go into someone's comments and criticize them. Instead, I just made my own YouTube channel and started making money off of it. See, that's the reason why I'm sitting in this chair and all you are is a comment on a YouTube channel at the ass end of the internet. That's why.
Wolves. And I think it's a complicated thing to answer, Brett. I don't know what they would say in Washington about that.
I agree. And I think that, listen, Iran has been planning for this for a long time. So there may have been processes that if this guy gets taken out, it goes down the chain and people step up. But there is confusion on the ground. We can report that 100%. And the question is, how much stuff do they have? How many missiles, cruise missiles, drones? By all accounts, it's still significant. And that's why the military has 200 dynamic targets. In other words, hovering over Iran, they change and do a new target based on new intelligence. That's pretty incredible if you think about it in one night.
They called them dynamic strikes today. 200 from last night alone.
Well, they're pretty dynamic. You know what dynamic means? It means they flatten the earth. That seems pretty dynamic.
You Brett, we'll see you at 6 o'clock.
See, I'll see you at 5:59:59.
See you. I love those handovers.
Okay, thank you. Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube and catch full shows streaming.
What the fuck? Most of that fraud and waste is already from rich corporations. How'd you come to that conclusion? A pay cut because of some military operation or what the U.S. owns. You guys are making a lot of assumptions about income tax versus estate tax versus property tax. Blah, blah, blah. Written there. I don't know about this guy. I'm not sure. What y'all think? What y'all think? A ban? Well, you're wrong. Because a lot of our tax resources at current stance are going to daycares and hospice fraud that Nick Shirley's covering. And you know where those are going? To foreign countries. They followed the paper trail and lined up exactly where those planes were going. They know where the money's going. Why do you think people are in jail now? I think this person's not that bad. I don't know. Maybe we don't. I think he's on the right path. He's just a little astray. Well, I don't care if it's known. Do you have any facts? Like, that's kind of what determines a lot of stuff in court. If you're going around saying that large corporations are, for example, if Nick Shirley does a documentary on the fraud that's going on in Somalia, follows the paper trail, finds out that fraud that's going on in Minneapolis, follows the paper trail, finds the plane and the supervisor saying that all of it's being sent overseas, and he doesn't catch a defamation lawsuit from Tim Walz, and Tim Walz drops out of the election process, shouldn't that ring a bell? Shouldn't that be a massive red flag for every American? Not even going to try to sue Nick Shirley, put him into defamation. Not going to put him through the court process. Not even going to try a slap lawsuit. Just going to drop out of the election and call Nick Shirley a name. That doesn't seem like a problem. That's a big red flag that pops up on my radar whenever I see that. Same thing with Gavin Newsom. Same exact thing. Nick Shirley's this. Well, what about all this fraud that's going on in your state that's being allowed? Nick Shirley's this. Oh, no defamation lawsuit, no slap lawsuit, no nothing? Nothing at all. That's weird. Huh. Does that mean that if you try to sue somebody for defamation and you have to release records, does that mean they're going to find something? It makes you wonder. But A defamation for saying that he's responsible for allowing multi-billion dollars of fraud in his state. He says that in multiple videos. Both of them. That's defamation. And it's fraud. If you're wondering, allowing that to happen in your state is a form of fraud. You're accusing somebody of fraud, which is grounds of defamation if you can prove it wrong. Why isn't Gavin Newsom or Tim Walz suing Nick Shirley for defamation? It makes you wonder.
Streaming now on Fox.
That's right. They can't take him to court because they know that if any of the records get leaked, they're going to find something they shouldn't. So they're going to try and disenfranchise you and tell you that you're dumb, you're this or you're that, so you can't trust what he's saying. That's where we're at. And that's a lot of the comments that get pulled up on this channel too. It's everywhere. They try to disenfranchise you or make you look stupid. But then when you call them out and you present them with even remotely any form of what human behavior looks like, or even a slight little tip of fact, they roach the fuck out. That's what they do. Why do you think Tim Walz is heading for the hills? That's right. Take someone like Nick Shirley to court, and you'll end up proving that he's right. And then guess what really happens? Then you start seeing senators get locked up. That will be a beautiful day in America, by the way. But I'm rolling. We will be back on tomorrow, bright and early. Have the great rest of y'all's day. Thank you for all you new viewers. Thank you for hitting the sub button. Thanks for hitting the like button. Thanks for the channel memberships. Thanks for the new channel memberships. Check out the channel membership, though. I got those exclusive emotes. I put hard time effort into those exclusive emotes, man, for my gaming days. We'll be back on tomorrow bright and early. Thanks for all you new peeps. Stay safe out there. Hold on, wait a minute. I gotta get my music going, man. I gotta get the music going. What the fuck? Gotta get the music going. Wait, what happened?
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, although sure.
Stay safe out there. Don't go crazy. Stay away from. Damn it! Every time. Stay away from crazy people. We might end up making fun of you. That's what we do on here. Don't go caring on anybody. Lots of new stuff. I'm hoping that Trump doesn't cave to this bullshit. Try to put a smile on someone's face. You might change their whole day or their whole life. You never know. And I'll see you beautiful people tomorrow, boys and ladies. Quite a bit of ladies in there, W ladies. Y'all don't get enough love. Stay safe out there. Stay away from crazy people. It's infectious. Peace. Stay safe.
Hilarious, you think you're worth my time, you're delirious, mysterious, because you hide behind a fake exterior, inferior, you know I'll always be a bit superior, get off of me, this ain't no humble brag, I want you to hear words, you can say them back, I want you to feel free from the chains that last, and to believe in what you got, it was built to last, yeah. Now that I've been put through hell, I never got anyone